Mr. Turk said his life was at acute risk now that he had stopped drinking water. But the UN Human Rights Chief did not limit his statement to Abdel Fattah's case. He said the UN had raised the issue of many people arbitrarily imprisoned after unfair trials in Egypt. All should now be released, and Egypt should revise its laws restricting freedom of expression.
And that's the BBC's Imogen Folks. North Korea is rejecting American claims it has been supplying Russia with artillery shells and ammunition for use by the Russians in Ukraine. Pyongyang accusing the U.S. of lying. News and analysis, townhall.com. It is a tale of the impact of COVID and its related restrictions on one state's public schools.
The Joint Legislative Audit and Review Commission, a nonpartisan legislative watchdog agency, says Virginia's teacher workforce is smaller, unhappier, and less qualified than before the pandemic. Members of the commission also told state lawmakers on Monday that school staff are experiencing more student behavioral problems and mental health issues, as well as a lack of respect from parents, a higher workload, and low pay. The commission interviewed school district leaders who said all of those issues are making it difficult to recruit and retain teachers. I'm Donna Warder.
They are railing against fossil fuels at a United Nations climate summit in Egypt. A bunch of world leaders are there, but notably absent China, India, and Russia. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican world radio. Yeah!
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Election Day, everybody. Welcome to it. Your bill. Bill's not quite ready for the day yet.
It didn't get elected.
It was sleeping in.
That's right.
The fog and the mist.
It wasn't ready.
Is making it sleepy.
It's very British out there this morning.
It is. Actually, on my way to work today, I can report I had mist.
Yeah, it was weird. It was like it was like crossing the street.
It wasn't quite drizzle. Certainly wasn't a sprinkle. I would classify it as a mist.
A mist.
Yeah.
A light mist. Just one of those things where you don't even want to turn your windshield wipers on because it's just going to make your windshield dirty.
And that's exactly what it did, because that's what I did. And I was like, oh, man.
You're like, well, let's see what happens. Oh, dang it.
So I had to expel some wiper fluid to rectify the situation.
You had to expel a little fluid. I hate when that happens.
I know. Well, you know what's really the bummer? Because you know when you get low and you're like, oh, let's see. And then you hit it, and then it goes, and then nothing. And you're like, oh, I'm out.
I have the worst windshield washer fluid sprayers ever. Like they put no care into these. You know how normally it sprays a mist onto your windshield? These shoot like hoses.
Those are great.
No, they're not.
Because you can turn them and then point them at other people and then shoot them. They're delightful. I used to know some vehicles that had that.
I didn't even think about that. Road rage just took a whole new turn, dude.
If you don't mind dirty windows.
Oh my gosh,
it's kind of funny.
By the way, I feel like I've done a disservice to the next generation. I've sort of instilled in my daughter road rage.
She's not even old enough to barely be on a bicycle.
But here's the thing. it's road rage in song form.
Okay, so
Because
there's a melody to it.
What my kids like for me to do is to make up new lyrics to songs.
Okay.
And more often than not, I'm just complaining about how slow the guy in front of me is going, and talking about how the gas pedal is the one on the right, and putting those into song lyrics. And the other day, my daughter was just randomly making up lyrics to a song, and it was all about how slow the guy in front of us was going. Like, oh no, I've instilled road rage in my child.
Maybe you can get auto-tune installed in your car and just have oh.
That'd be my horn now.
What a slow driver.
Gas pedals on the right. Yeah.
Well, happy election day,
Yes,
everybody.
get out there and make your voice heard.
If
however weird that voice happens to be.
That's right.
It's your voice.
Get your weird voice on.
Let that freak flag fly.
It is, if you do not early vote, then today is your day to vote. The polls are officially open. They opened about 9 minutes ago. You have several convenience centers within Chavez County that you can vote at today. I will list them for you right now. The Roswell Mall. You can go to Central Church of the Nazarene, which is at 901 East Country Club. Country Club Road, Church of Christ at 100 West Country Club Road. The Roswell Museum here on 11th Street. The Boys and Girls Club at 101 South Garden, or 201 South Garden, I'm sorry. New Mexico Game and Fish there on West College, 1615 West College. The East Grand Plains Elementary on East Grand Plains. The Chavez County Clerk's Office, which is the admin building, 1 St. Mary's Place. Go to the south end of the building where it says vote here. If you actually go to the clerk's office, you're going to have to go through a maze of hallways to get to the voting part. So park at the south end. You'll see a little area where it says signs, vote here and all that. Just park there and walk through those doors.
They should really put like a convenience store halfway somewhere in that building in the halfway point, because it is a nightmare. I'd like to stop for some chips and a drink halfway through.
I could use a beverage, at least, a nice Coke Zero. Cherry Coke Zero, perhaps.
Ooh.
But moving on. The Church on the Move on Brasher.
Yes.
In Dexter at the Dexter Central Office. There on North Lincoln. In Hagerman at the Joy Center. And then Lake Arthur Schools in Lake Arthur. You can vote at any one of those locations if you are a resident of Chavez County today.
Yep.
So if you, say, live in Hagerman but work here, vote one of the places here while you're on your lunch hour, or vice versa. If you perhaps work in Dexter, Hagerman, Lake Arthur, vote on your lunch hour, that way. But you got it good. The polls will remain open until 7 p.m. this evening. So get out there and get your vote. As both sides are saying, democracy is, it's both sides. It's very funny. Republicans are all like, the country rests on your vote. And the Democrats are saying the same thing. So I think it's going to be a pretty big deal tonight.
This one is probably one of the bigger midterm elections of our lives.
It seems like it.
Yeah.
I don't know if it is or just the hype, but
there's a guy running. There's a guy running in our area named Finger. That makes me happy. I know nothing else about the guy except for the fact that his name is Finger, and I want to vote for him just based on that.
I have a funny story, but I can't share it on the radio about names, people, political votings, and my choices one year I had.
Fair enough.
I just can't do it on the radio because it's not family friendly, but it's funny.
See, these are all things we put in our little treasure chest for when we do Mornings with Mike Winters nights.
Yes.
I stand by the fact that it needs to be called either Mornings with Mike Winters nights or Mornings with Mike Winters after dark.
I kind of lean towards after dark, but I would hear arguments to the
I just
former.
like nights because it allows us to go nights.
Yeah.
Like in like Troy and Abed in the morning. Nights.
Although if I did that, I'd want like a Latin bass theme song.
Oh, okay. I was like, where are we going with this now?
No, I like
a Latin dancer.
No, a Latin
shirtless, preferably, but if not, open button down.
Like silhouettes dancing with like a tropical and then like some kind of Latin music-y with
like steel drum.
Yeah, something. Something very sultry.
Mornings with Mike Winters.
Yeah, think of like not the Dirty Dancing everyone loves, but that Dirty Dancing Havana Nights or whatever they came out like in the 90s or whenever it was.
Right.
Think of that. Just what I'm thinking in my head.
Just a real sweaty atmosphere.
Yeah. That's sweaty. So much sweat here.
Sweaty sums it up. That's pretty much, if you had to describe Dirty Dancing Havana Nights in one word, sweaty.
There you go. That's what I win that song. But let me give you the rundown for today's show before we get way off the rails. We're going to be joined by Dr. Peter Jewell with Loveless Hospital here in just a few minutes. He's a family medicine physician, talking flu shots. 'Tis the season for the flu shot, so we'll talk about that with him. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, we're going to have the folks from the Chaves County Health Council join us, give us an update on what they've got going on. And then in the 9 o'clock hour, Robert Reynolds is going to join us. Normally he joins us the second Tuesday. He'll be here next week to talk stuff around town. He has his gospel CD he's been doing for a few years. He wanted to come on and promote that a little bit. So
get a double dose of Robert.
Yeah, so we'll have Robert join us here in the 9 o'clock hour and play a few of his songs and what have you. So, plus we'll have all of the news of the local national variety along with your Wall Street stock market report and anything else we can come up with for today's show. But first, let us take a look at your misty weather. Misty weather.
I'm looking at it right now.
I'm telling you. Maybe that could be a DJ name for
Misty Weather.
For
Misty
a Misty
Weathers.
Widow. No, I'm married.
I'll pitch it.
Here's your weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll start off with a few clouds today, but clearing up by midday and especially this afternoon, turning sunny. Our afternoon high in the low to mid 70s, and it will be a little bit breezy. Wind occasionally gusting up to about 25 miles per hour. Some clouds and mid 50s for the overnight hours and windy, and then a mix of sun and clouds coming up on Wednesday. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 60 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 67%. Winds calm at the moment. Could see a little bit more of this fog and a little patchy drizzle here this morning. Cloudy through mid-morning, but gradually it will be clearing. Going to warm up. Expect a high of 75 today, although it's not cold right now. It's nice. It's that fog is kind of keeping it warm. So, but we will hit 75 today with south winds 5 to 10 this morning, picking up 15 to 20 this afternoon. Tonight, we're looking at some of the patchy fog rolling in after 11. Otherwise, mostly cloudy. Looking at an overnight low of 54. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow, could see more of the patchy fog when you wake up, lingering around to about 8 a.m. Otherwise, mostly sunny for the day. Highs near 80, 79 officially tomorrow. South winds 10 to 15 early. They'll pick up 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour by tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy, overnight low of 45 degrees with south winds 10 to 15. And for the rest of the week, Thursday, sunny and 67. North winds at 10 to 15. Friday, Veterans Day, sunny skies, high of only 57. So getting cooler with these winds that are coming in. And then looking at the weekend, sunny 57 on Saturday, mostly sunny 63 on Sunday. Sorry, I had something on the mic cable was loose there. That's why I was making all that noise. I apologize. It is 7:16. Let's go ahead and pause for a quick break. We'll have your Roswell Livestock Report recap of Smiley Wooten, and then a quick commercial break. And then Dr. Peter Jewell with Loveless going to join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Good morning, this is Smiley Wooten at the Roswell Livestock Auction. 2,323 head of cattle sold on Monday on an uneven market with an excellent buyer attendance compared to last week. Stocker calves sold steady to 8 higher. Feeder cattle steady to 4 lower. Packer cows and bulls sold steady 3 to 40 pound steers 219, 254. 3 to 400 pound heifers 180, 191. 4 to 500 pound steers 192, 219. 4 to 500 pound heifers 169, 180. 5 to 600 pound steers 176, 192. 5 to 600 pound heifers 158, 169. 6 700 pound steers 169 and a half, 176. 6 700 pound heifers 155, 158. 7 800 pound steers 161, 169, 50. 7 800 pound heifers 144, 155. Packer cows 70 to 79. Kenner and cutter cows 64 to 68. Packer bulls 85 to 95. feeder bulls $70 to $80. The top half the cow-calf pairs $1,100 to $1,400 per pair. Top half the bred cows $900 to $1,100 per head. We do appreciate the business, and we will talk to you next Monday morning. This is Smiley Wooten, Roswell Livestock Auction.
This is Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Together, we can take back our public lands while preserving the integrity of your vote. It's easy to vote for Larry Marker. On your ballot, go to the space provided for declared write-in candidate. It's under the heading Commissioner of Public Lands. Mark the oval and write in Larry Marker. Together, we can take back our public lands and preserve the integrity of your vote. Go to LarryMarker.com for more information. Thank you.
Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Paid for by the Friends of Larry Marker.
If a sports injury is keeping you from the physical activities you love, the sports medicine team at Artesia General Hospital can help. Their orthopedic specialists and physical therapists work closely with you throughout diagnosis and treatment. No matter the injury, from ACL injuries, golfers and tennis elbow to foot and ankle pain, they'll get you back in the game. Appointments are available in Artesia or Carlsbad. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/sports.
Hello, I'm Tara Mitcha, State Director for the National Rifle Association, letting you know that the NRA Political Victory Fund endorses State Representative Greg Nybert for re-election in House District 59. Greg has worked relentlessly to support our Second Amendment rights and to oppose legislation that restricts law-abiding gun owners. Progressive politicians in Santa Fe have an agenda that would erode our right to protect our families, our homes, and ourselves. Greg Nybert will vigorously oppose those who want to tread on our right to keep and bear arms and our precious liberty and freedom. He is a true friend of the Second Amendment and of our sporting heritage in New Mexico. Vote Greg Nybert, representative for House District 59.
I'm Greg Nybert, and I ask you to please vote for me for House District 59. Voting begins on October 11th, and Election Day is November 8th.
Paid for by Greg Nybert for State Representative. Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
It's possible to turn peanut butter into diamonds. Peter Pan tried it with his buddy Skippy, but they couldn't do it in a jiff. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 20 minutes after 7 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from Loveless Hospital, Dr. Peter Jewell back with us. Good morning, Doctor. How you doing today?
Good.
Other than the fact, looks like you've been out raving again, huh? He's got a bum wing this morning here. So.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Well, we kind of were talking briefly before I came in here about how I had been bucked off a horse. So
yeah.
Just one of those things. If you want to live life, sometimes you got to pay the price.
That's right. Take the bus.
Yeah. That's funny.
For folks not familiar, Dr. Jewell's a family practice medicine doctor there with Loveless Hospital. And of course, usually when we talk to you, it's around the flu season or, time to get, your flu shot or time to get one of those timely things. And tis the season for the flu shot right now. Yeah, now's the time to start getting those done and taken care of, right?
We've seen one patient, it actually wasn't mine, it was another person that's in my office that tested positive for the flu.
Okay.
So it's out here, being here for the last 14 years here in Roswell, actually 16 years, because including residency for 2 years, we don't really see flu here in Roswell until right around February-ish.
Okay.
It's really bad. That's our peak, February, March.
Okay.
But if you think about it, that makes sense because, people go away for the holidays. Thanksgiving, Christmas, we see a couple sprinkled in there. And then the whole entire population, it starts to spread and then people get it. You probably know this. Flu, very similar to COVID. Same symptoms, almost exact.
Yeah.
The differences are... it's really dangerous in people that are under 2 years old and pregnant women. When you look at COVID-19, the differences between the two of those, young people usually do very well.
Gotcha.
Other than that, same risk factors. People that are over 65, diabetics, people that have...
compromised immune systems,
yes,
things like that.
Exactly,
yeah.
HIV, those kind of things. Yeah, yes, sir. Those are the people that definitely should consider the vaccine. I myself, because I'm diabetic and have heart issues, I have been getting my flu vaccine for the last 30 years. One time I got the flu in 30 years.
That's a pretty good track record.
Yeah, I think so.
Everyone's buying Powerball tickets or tried to. And
Hey, did anybody ever win that?
Well, no, they suspended it. Yeah, they delayed it because one state didn't have all their security protocols or something like that.
Really?
So I think they're going to do it later today, is what I understand. Yeah, so they haven't officially done the drawing yet. So
Voting day of all days, right?
Is that an omen or a precursor here? What this day's going to run into? I don't know. But.
Well, it depends on who wins the Powerball.
That's right.
Republican or Democrat. Right?
There you go. They'll be running for president in a couple of years.
If you give me $1 billion, I might consider it too.
Right. Let me ask this because I want to kind of separate confusion and kind of because obviously you're seeing a lot of commercials right now about getting your Omicron booster is what kind of what they're saying. Now, obviously, these are two different, the flu shot and the Omicron, but in essence, they're kind of working in the same way. Is now these they're kind of like a flu shot, but except for protecting against flu, it's the Omicron strain of COVID. My question is, does one or the other offer some protection against the
No. It's either you get the flu shot because they're separate viruses.
Okay.
And what the CDC or what the people that are in charge of how we get flu vaccines or the COVID vaccines do, COVID's a little bit different because COVID's newer.
Okay.
So they kind of see what strain is happening here in the United States. With Omicron, that's the most recent one. And there's some new variants that are coming around as well, too. So they're trying to immunize you against that.
Okay.
And one of the things to say about vaccine, there's no vaccine that's ever been produced that's 100%.
Sure.
Nothing's 100%. Except death and taxes. And
this is true.
At least that's in the United States. So, like I said, I'm a firm believer in the flu vaccine because I've gotten it for the last 30 years and only got flu once. Going back to COVID, because there was a big, I don't want to say misinformation because that's the wrong word to use. Everybody, that's the buzzword now.
Sure.
But miscommunication, because if you remember back when the first COVID vaccine came out, they were saying, if you can remember this, because we have shortest attention spans as Americans.
What'd you say?
Yeah, exactly. What they were saying is that it didn't give you full protection against the virus. It just so happened that first strain was 95% effective at that first strain.
Right.
Okay. But then Delta came, and Delta was about 50 to 60%. Then when Omicron came, it was about 0% effective towards that. They're different viruses.
Well, was there a different mindset back then? Like when the vaccine, the COVID vaccine came out, was the mindset when it initially came out thinking this was going to be something like a vaccine you would get for polio or smallpox or something, and then later it evolved to a flu shot style vaccine? Or I'm just curious. As they learn more, they said, this is something we're going to have to turn into a booster type deal.
Ultimately, everything that I read or was reading when that happened, and trust me, I spent hours upon hours studying this. Ultimately, it came down to they thought that it was going to be like a booster situation.
Gotcha. Okay.
Viruses have the tendency to mutate.
Okay.
That's why it's not 100% for even the flu vaccine, because they take their best guess.
Sure.
They look at what's happening.
The strains are different slightly, and they're kind of ballparking on what the most popular, most likely one's going to emerge for the season.
Exactly. So they don't always guess right. The year that I got the flu, I was actually in Las Vegas for a medical conference. And every time I get the flu, I can always feel it in my neck first. And I got really sick that year. But it's just one of those things. They take their best guess,
sure.
And sometimes they're wrong.
But regardless, if they get it right or wrong, the flu shot provides protection. It may be less effective if they pick the wrong strain, but you're probably not going to die from the flu because it's going to make it that much less severe.
Yeah, similar to the COVID vaccine.
Yeah.
Almost the same kind of scenario.
Yeah.
It makes you less likely to be ending up in the hospital or dying.
Gotcha.
That's really what the COVID vaccine was made for.
Gotcha.
It was meant to keep you from being put in the hospital.
We can keep pumping chicken noodle soup and Bob Barker, or I guess not Bob Barker anymore. The Price is Right on TV.
You're showing your age. I know who Bob Barker is. But
that's when I was a kid, you got sick. Here's chicken soup, here's some Vicks Vapor Rub, here's Price is Right.
There you go.
Here's a pillow and a blanket.
Yes, sir. I agree. One of the things that people may or may not realize is that, the statistics, 6,000 to, I believe it's 52,000 per year. That's how many people can die from the flu. And it's usually the same people that are affected by COVID.
Sure.
The same risk groups.
The older, the people that have immune issues, things like that. Yeah.
Except for those two that I told you about, the pregnant women and kids under 2.
That changes with COVID.
With flu.
With flu.
Those are the people that are high risk of flu.
I was going the other way. They're less at risk with COVID. That's what I was. What I was trying to say.
Yes,
sorry.
Yep. Sorry for that misunderstanding.
But so either way, though, getting the flu shot's a good idea, regardless. I mean, obviously, if you're one of the higher risk categories, the priority for you should be sooner rather than later.
Absolutely.
But if you're a human being, pretty much get the flu shot. Is there any exceptions to people that shouldn't? I mean, obviously, talk to your doctor. If you have a specific condition, they don't recommend it. That's one thing. But for most of us, is there any reason why you would not get the flu shot?
If you're allergic to eggs.
Okay, that's the biggie.
Yeah.
God, you got a rough life. You're allergic to eggs. I mean,
no kidding.
There's so many good things with eggs in it. I'm just like, it's like you must hate breakfast.
When I was a kid growing up, I was allergic to yeast. Imagine that.
Oh, that would be a bummer. Did you outgrow that, I guess?
Yeah, outgrow.
Thank goodness.
No kidding. I mean, I wouldn't be able to drink a beer then. Come on.
No, you'd be kind of SOL on a lot of stuff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So let's talk the flu side of things. If you get it here, I mean, at what point? Like what's the time to see a professional versus staying home and handling it with over the counter stuff here? When's that point where you said, okay, maybe you should see a professional?
I think it depends on the person. That's one thing, and number 2, if you're having trouble breathing.
Okay, that's the biggie.
What usually people end up the progression of flu. Usually, if you're gonna have a problem with flu, it goes from flu to pneumonia.
Gotcha.
And pneumonia is deadly. It was the same thing with COVID. You would start with COVID, you'd go to pneumonia, then blood clots, and blah, 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 blah.
And it's kind of like, when we talk about AIDS, it's not necessarily AIDS that kills you.
Exactly.
It's your immune system so compromised that pneumonia, a simple infection, can end up killing you because you just don't have any chance to fight it. It's not technically the AIDS that's killing you. It's basically just lowering your defenses to anybody and their uncle and come in and take you out, basically.
Absolutely.
In a nutshell.
Yes,
These are highly medical terms here. But obviously we feel cold and flu big right now, but is this another time of year for things that you see more often in the family practice side of things, or just the common?
A lot of bronchitis. That's what I'm seeing right now. I don't anticipate seeing a lot of flu probably until the end of January, February.
Gotcha.
And I've seen that every single year that I've been here for the last 16 years.
So get your flu shots.
Yes.
You can schedule them with doctor here, or, there's 1,000 places you can get flu
pharmacies
shots.
now are giving it, some pharmacies even for free.
Yeah.
So how do you beat that?
As far as getting the Omicron and all that, is it okay to get all those at the same time?
Yes.
Or should you wait? Or
No.
Okay.
It is okay to get them at the same time.
Okay.
That was, probably about a year and a half ago that they clarified that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you have any questions there, you're thinking, well, should I get the one first, the other, and whatever. And then obviously the Omicron is kind of, everyone's telling you to get it, and some people disagree and others, and you use your best judgment on that. That's what I always tell people. What you think you should do, you should do.
Well, perfect day to talk about this because it is voting day. We're in America.
Mm-hmm.
It's your decision.
Mm-hmm.
And if you should you decide not to get the shot, I understand.
Sure.
Okay, but what I think of, it's more about the other person, because I'm sure that every single person on this earth knows somebody that has diabetes or has some kind of immune compromise.
Sure.
And I'm thinking of the other people. Even though I have both of those things, I think of the other person, my patient that's coming in that's on chemo or any of those things. That's who I think of when I get these vaccines.
Sure. And the thing about COVID, and this is where it is getting me, is, and unfortunately, the world has politicized the heck out of this.
You're correct.
And it's sad because I think a lot of people probably have died because of that politicalization, of just things. And don't get me wrong, COVID's a fickle little thing in itself, and it kind of makes it this way because let's face it, most people that get COVID, you get the flu, and then you move on about your day after a few. Most people.
Most people, you're correct.
But there is a percentage of people that this has a huge impact on, and for the people it doesn't, it's kind of hard to tell them to say, you know what I mean? It's
Exactly.
like, okay, I got the sniffles. Ooh, I'm gonna die. But and so it's hard for them to take it seriously. And I get that because you're thinking, well, I've been running in everything my whole life now. But so and unfortunately, I think that political has really widened that gap between the people that truly have to worry about it versus the most of us that treat it as a flu or a cold or something like that. So and that's unfortunate, but the reality is for some people this is very deadly, very serious, and we need to treat it as such. But but like you're saying, if you can get a vaccine and help others, that's not a bad thing. I mean, sure, there's a lot of people with issues on, is this going to creep up on me later?
Yep.
And that's absolutely a concern. I mean, I've been in the military. I know those. Yeah,
Exactly.
It's fine. And then 10 years later, oops, we were wrong about that.
No.
I mean, that's a legitimate fear. So that's why we tell people, you make this choice what's best for you. But like you said, for the people in your lives, for things, you do it and think it's a good idea. So.
Yeah, I figure that if it's 10 years, 20 years down the road, well, none of us may be here then. Who knows?
This is true. This is true. To be honest, I told people at the beginning, I was like, I have no problem. I literally served in the military. I got poked. I was one of the first groups that got anthrax shot. I said, I'm already in that pool of things that I'm gonna have a third tail here by the time I'm 70, some point or another. I'm okay with that.
Hey, you live in Roswell, perfect place for a tail, right?
But yeah. So please, take it seriously, and at the same time, don't judge others for their decision on that, because you don't know their shoes, you don't know their life, you don't know where they walk. So that if everyone's doing what they think is best for their health, as long as it's sound medical advice, not I lick my finger and put it in a finger in an electrical socket, it makes my hair grow. No, all right, that might be a little nutty, but
I know people like that.
but what I'm saying, respect each other's, medical. Each is their own thing here, and when it gets to that, but we can safely say this: get your flu shots, get these vaccines, get them updated. Because it might turn, your holidays, more likely for us post-holidays,
exactly.
From pleasurable to miserable. So.
Exactly. And who wants to start a new year miserable?
Exactly. Yeah, you're busy trying to lose weight for a week, that first week of the year. You're busy signing up for gym memberships. You're going to use one.
Exactly. Yes, sir.
Of course, if you do not have a primary care physician and you're looking one for your family, certainly Dr. Jewell would love to have you a part of his group here. You can reach out and call direct the office at 575-627-4200.
Yes,
Again,
sir.
that's 575-627-4200. He's just up the street here on North Main, 1112 North Main, just right up the road here from downtown.
Across the street from Cattle Barn.
Yes,
that's what I tell everybody.
Yes, there you go. Yeah, just and so come on down there, and if you want to talk to someone and get an appointment scheduled that way, or you can go to the website. I always just Google Loveless Roswell and it pops up. Is it loveless.com? Okay,
Exactly.
I always get the orgs, govs, and all that. But
me too. Me too.
But you can go to loveless.com, and matter of fact, if you're looking for other specialists or other healthcare things, that's your best resource, because you can see all the doctors and services and everything that Loveless has under their umbrella here in Roswell, and you can find the right person to treat whatever you got going on there.
Exactly.
So, yeah. But if it's kind of like, I don't know, I need the first line of defense, then come see Dr. Jewell, and he can triage it out if it needs to see a specialist, or if it's just something simple, he can take care of. So.
There's oral medications now too for both the flu and COVID. There's now the Paxlovid for COVID,
okay,
which is an oral medication that works pretty well. It just makes your taste buds taste like pennies.
Oh, so if you don't mind a penny taste.
Yeah, I've had COVID twice, and
it's better than no taste.
Exactly. We'll say that.
Yeah.
I agree 100%. The second time I took the Paxlovid, the first time I had the monoclonal antibodies. And both times I was better relatively fast. And like I said, I'm one of those high-risk groups.
I had it a couple 1 year, 2 years ago. I think I had 2 shots at the time.
Yep.
And that's when I had it. And I lost smell, but it was not
bad.
It was a cold. I had a cold.
Same thing with me.
Yeah, I was really tired. I wanted to sleep a lot, sniffling. I couldn't smell nothing for a day or like 2 or 3 days. But that was good. It wasn't bad.
Yeah, same thing as me.
Matter of fact, I worked not here, but I did the show from the house that week. I was there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think all but one day I was like, I'm too sick. I'm going back to bed. Y'all handle it. But but for the most part. But please get your shots. Get your the flu shots. Now is the and by the way, you can get them now, and it's not too early. You don't have to get a second one in March or something. I know a lot of people worry about things like that. If you get a flu shot now, you're covered through flu season.
Unless they make the wrong guess.
Gotcha.
And they usually will tell us that throughout the year.
Okay.
Throughout the flu season.
So and you'll hear that because it'll be on all the news outlets, and we'll talk about it, and everybody else will mention. Then so once you hear that, then call Dr. Jewel or your whoever your doctor is and get her done.
Exactly.
Is there any information? Because I feel like there's something else we wanted to talk about here other than flus and stuff. I mean, just we got it all covered there. Okay.
I think so. I think that's what I was here today for. Was flu and COVID a little bit. I figured we would touch on that too, and so a little bit of an update on that.
And here's something I want to say too. We all kind of laugh at it way back at the beginning of COVID and the singing the songs of the washing your hands for 20 seconds and all that. You know what? That will be if you. I'm not saying you have to go full on crazy with this and like Purell every time you smell something, but washing your hands and keeping up on that thing, and keeping up with that simple, if you're cooking every time you do, just keeping that, you're doing a whole lot to keep the germs, because even if you come in contact, they're getting washed off and they're not lingering around long enough to kind of get you in and in bed and do their thing. So, it's just because, it's technically not a pandemic and all, it's still a good idea to, wash your hands and keep that hygiene going.
Flu and COVID are pretty much spread the same exact way.
Yeah.
Respiratory droplets, or if somebody coughs and, there's remnants on, say, this table, you touch that, you touch your face, you've got it.
Yeah.
It's the exact same transmission method as the flu, COVID is. So, washing your hands is not a bad thing. And singing happy birthday to you, twice is kind of your best
good rule
method of doing it. Yep.
Yeah. Or if you want to make it fun, do the kid versions that you used to. Yankee Doodle has about 10 of them. One couple with Batman. You can just throw those in there. Look them up online. There's maybe I bet there's a Reddit that's out there. Songs to wash your hands by.
Yeah. I bet there is too. I bet there is too. We could win some good money off
exactly.
Of that. Maybe not lotto money, but
I don't know. You get a TikTok run here, next thing you know, people paying you for doing all kind of dumb stuff. So
that's true.
You never know. Again, if to schedule an appointment with Dr. Jewel, you can reach out to his office direct, 575-627-4200. His office is located here on North Main, 1112 North Main. Come on down and get your flu shots or whatever you've got going on. Let Dr. Jewel get you feeling better again. So,
absolutely.
Awesome. Well, thank you, sir. Get healthy.
I'm working on it.
Careful on the horses there.
Yeah.
Stick to 4 tires instead of 4 legs, maybe.
Yep. Yes, sir.
That's all right. I imagine you're keeping your nurses busy right now, seeing how you're a wing down here.
Always keeping my help busy. Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you, doctor. Appreciate the visit, and we look forward to seeing you again soon.
All right. Thank you.
Take care.
All right.
It is 7:41. Let's go ahead and pause for news and your Kim Commando update. Don't go away.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Monday's Powerball jackpot is on hold. Yes, that's right. There was no Powerball drawing held Monday night. When it came time to do the live drawing, a host said there was a delay due to one of the 48 state participants who did not submit their safety and security protocols in time. Therefore, the Powerball drawing was not expected to be held until later Tuesday. A reminder that Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia city administration offices and certain other city facilities will be closed on Friday in observance of Veterans Day. Some city services will have an adjusted schedule for that Friday or the week. In addition to Roswell city offices, the Roswell Public Library, Roswell Museum, and Roswell Adult Center will be closed on Friday, Veterans Day. The Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center, Spring River Zoo, and Roswell Visitor Center will be open on Veterans Day. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Today, let me weigh in on Elon Musk's plan to charge $8 a month for the blue check mark and a verified Twitter account. I'm Kim Commando, brought to you by T-Mobile. Their advanced network now goes farther than ever before. Visit T-Mobile.com/55 today. Indignant celebrities, Valerie Bertinelli, Stephen King, the disgraced Kathy Griffin, all whining about spending $8 a month for a blue check mark are simply ridiculous. Living in their make-believe bubble, they have no clue it takes money to run a company. And Twitter, founded in 2006, did not have its first profitable year until 2019, 13 straight years of losing money, and today it's still hemorrhaging. After half the staff was let go, Twitter's founder, Jack Dorsey, apologized for, quote, growing the company too fast. In the real world, not everyone needs a verified account. The ones screaming the loudest, over $8, are the ones that are most able to pay it. Remember, nothing is truly free. Try my new daily fun tech podcast called Kim Commando today. Does it make sense that the same company who controls half of all online retail also passively eavesdrops on your private conversations at home? What about the idea that a single company controls 90% of internet searches, runs your email service, and gets to track everything you do on your smartphone? Big tech is powerful, and they profit by exploiting your personal data. It's time to put a layer of protection between your online activity and those tech juggernauts. When you run ExpressVPN on your device, the software hides your IP address, making your activity harder to trace and sell to advertisers. ExpressVPN also encrypts all your internet data to keep you safe from hackers without slowing your connection. Just download the app on your phone or computer, tap one button, and you're protected. Go to expressvpn.com/Kim to get an extra 3 months free on a 1-year package. That's expressvpn.com/Kim to get 3 extra months for free. That address again, expressvpn.com/Kim.
Meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll start off with a few clouds today, but clearing up by midday and especially this afternoon, turning sunny. Our afternoon high in the low to mid 70s, and it will be a little bit breezy. Wind occasionally gusting up to about 25 miles per hour. Some clouds and mid 50s for the overnight hours and windy, and then a mix of sun and clouds coming up on Wednesday. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
The volleyball state playoff brackets were announced over the weekend, and the Goddard Rockets are the number 1 seed in Class 4A with a 19-4 record. Goddard will play its first match on Thursday at 3 o'clock. They'll take on the winner of Academy and Silver. Those two play at 9:45 this morning. Remember, these are all double elimination tournaments at the state tournament in Rio Rancho, 3 different locations. In Class 2A, it'll be Hagerman as the 8th seed playing at 8 o'clock in the morning against number 9 Manal. The winner will take on number 1 Laguna Acoma. And in Class 1A, it'll be Gateway Christian as the 2nd seed. They'll play at 8:15 Thursday night against the winner of the earlier match between Fort Sumner and Roy. Roswell finishes their season 11-12 overall, 2-4 in district. The Sports Report brought to you by DSI. Call DSI for all your office technology needs. I'm Eric Butler at Roswell's Talk FM 106.5.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Apple expects lower shipments of iPhone 14 models than previously anticipated, following a significant production cut at a virus-blighted plant in China, dampening its sales outlook for the busy year-end holiday season. British businesses fear a gloomy Christmas ahead, as almost half of households plan to cut festive spending due to the soaring cost of living, and sales are already falling sharply in inflation-adjusted terms. In one survey, 48% plan to spend less this Christmas. Tyson Foods Chief Financial Officer John R. Tyson, a great-grandson of the company's founder, has been charged with public intoxication and criminal trespassing after allegedly entering a stranger's home and falling asleep on her bed. According to an incident report provided by the Fayetteville, Arkansas Police Department, officers received a call early Sunday morning from a woman who had returned home to find a man she didn't know sleeping in her bed. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Hi, I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon. I'm a native New Mexican and I've lived here all my life. I graduated from NMSU and UNM law schools. The law has been my life. I don't make the laws, the legislature does. My job is to apply those laws to the facts without favoritism or political consideration, and I do that well. I'm asking for your vote on November 8th. I'm Eileen Reardon, District Court Judge. Thank you.
Paid for by the Committee to elect Judge Reardon, Steve McCutcheon, Treasurer.
I'm Judge Reardon and I approve this message.
We teach our kids to say please and thank you to total strangers, but we get so familiar in our marriages and families, we stop being polite to each other. Hi, this is Pastor Troy and my wife, Miss Julie Smotherman, for the Joy of Marriage.
In the love chapter of 1 Corinthians 13, it says that love is patient and kind. Love is not jealous or boastful or proud or rude. We emphasize being polite to each other in our family, which promotes an attitude of respect and brings peace in our home. Remember your manners with the person you love the most. Appreciate the things they do for you and let them know.
Being polite to each other can help you avoid conflict. Let's be polite to strangers, but let's not give our best to the people we don't live with. Let's give our best to each other.
If you have any questions or would like further information about the Joy of Marriage Ministry, please go to jomconference.com.
Sound the alarm. Backdraft Barbecue is ready to set your taste buds on fire with the best slow smoke barbecue around, by the plate or by the pound. Plus truly one-of-a-kind creations like brisket nachos or the 5-alarm bowl, or a savory Sammy like the hook and ladder, or take on the 1098 challenge seen on Man vs. Food with over 4 pounds of everything Backdraft makes. Will you make the Wall of Fame or the Wall of Shame like Casey Webb of Man vs. Food? Open Tuesday through Saturday 11 to 8 and Sundays 11 to 5 in Roswell at 301 Railroad Avenue. Backdraft Barbecue, alarmingly delicious.
You're invited to the annual Veterans Day Parade and Celebration, Saturday, November 12th, beginning at 9 a.m. on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn. Featuring guest speakers Sean Nicholson, music from Matt Miller and Tom Blake, and the laying of the wreaths by the Cub Scouts. The parade begins at 10 a.m. and moves north from the courthouse to the Wool Bowl. And enjoy special displays and food vendors after the parade in the Wool Bowl parking lot. To be a part of the event, contact Stephen Lee with the American Legion at 720-272-1455. Join us Saturday, November 12th, 9 a.m. on the Chavez County Courthouse lawn. Sponsored by Roswell Ford.
Mulan has the highest kill count of any Disney character. When asked for comment, Buzz Lightyear responded, "To infinity and beyond." Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:51. Stay tuned next hour, about 8:15 or so. We're going to have the folks from the Chavez County Health Council join us, give us an update on what they've got going on and how you can get involved. So that's coming up next hour. So over the weekend, I watched the Weird Al Yankovic story.
Oh, yes.
Have you seen it yet?
I have not. I was going to watch it last night, but time got away from me.
It is available to watch for free if you download the Roku app to your smart televisions or wherever you watch your smart program.
Gotcha.
It is
because you don't have a Roku device. You can actually download the channel itself from like the store.
Yeah, I own an Amazon Fire Stick, and that's what I stick. That's what I have. I have a smart TV, but you can't add to it.
Right.
It's one of like the early, so it has some presets, but it doesn't have. So I have a Fire Stick, so now I can go get whatever I want.
Nice.
And so yeah, I went and downloaded the Roku app and then watched the Weird Al movie. It's minimal advertising. There was some commercials in it, but not that many. It was like 1 minute every, 30 minutes or something. It wasn't that bad.
Oh, doable.
I will tell you this: if you like Weird Al and you find Weird Al
very
funny,
much do,
then you're going to like this movie.
Oh, I can't wait.
If you do not like Weird Al and you do not find his humor your cup of tea, you're going to hate this movie. It's Weird Al.
Well, from everything I've seen, because I watched the trailer and I'm like, wait a second.
Yeah.
Because I'm essentially, as far as like people in this building goes, I'm a Weird Al historian.
Yeah.
Like I've studied this man. I know his career. I wanted to be him when I was a kid. So like I wrote my own parodies.
I will tell you this. Daniel Radcliffe, Harry Potter, plays Weird Al.
Yeah.
Does a great job.
See, this is something I'm picking up on.
I finally you watch it and I'm like, every once in a while, like all the singing is Weird Al. You can tell that's not him.
Yeah.
But he kind of pulls off the Weird Al. I mean, yeah, he's granted a lot shorter than the real, but this is this movie.
If you're going in this for accuracy, you're climbing up the wrong tree.
I think it's very, 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 very loosely based on his life. Like with his parents, his childhood. I think some of that is true, not to the extent of which they portray it, but yes, they do it over the top explosive. Like I lived in the 80s. I know Madonna and Weird Al weren't a thing in the 80s.
Right.
Like a thing.
They weren't a thing. They were a fling. Like they were together for a quick second.
This portrays them differently.
Right. Right. That's what I'm saying. This is the beauty of this is it's a parody. In telling the story of Weird Al, they're also parodying the biopic, which is phenomenal. Like it reminds me of, if you've ever seen the movie Dewey Cox, I know you have, of course.
I have, yes.
But it very much reminds me of like one of the scenes you were describing, specifically the Dr. Demento scene. It reminds me of that moment in Dewey Cox right at the beginning where they're like, you got 20 seconds to change my mind.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he plays one note and the guy's like,
yeah.
Like that's what this reminds me of. It's a parody of the biopic and also telling the story of Weird Al.
And that scene I told you that yes, that's exactly how it goes down, but it's like that every time. Like when like to be honest, like the movie's almost, it's like telling his life story, but at the end of the day, it almost is like to get you to the inspirations for each of his songs.
Sure.
If that makes sense.
It's basically a vehicle to launch into the next song that he wants to sing.
Like when,
or the next song of his career.
In the movie, he's portraying how My Bologna becomes, which is based off the song My Sharona.
Right.
And so, but it's that same moment, like I was telling you about with Queen and all the, and everyone rides the bus, and it's like everyone's like, oh my gosh, like the halo of lights, like, oh,
I got this bass line I've been working on, and all of a sudden he busts out, just like,
oh, by the way,
the hit.
How a Harry Potter Weird Al, much more cut than real life Weird Al.
So,
like they make him look a little Rambo-like in some of the things, and
this
like
is one thing I respect about Daniel Radcliffe is he's done a really good job of, and he did his career right. He got the blockbuster out of the way first thing.
It's 8 of them,
and that's 8 of them, and that's his establishment money.
Yeah.
So now he can just play. He's a character actor. He can just go do whatever he wants. He can go play a motorboat with gas problems.
Well, he's big with the
a zombie
TBS,
with gas problems, or
that little comedy troupe that keeps putting out the TBS shows. One with shoot, it's got. Oh, I can't remember the name of their little group.
I've seen the show you're talking about.
Yeah, there's like 4 of them that they've done, and it's all the same. Steve Buscemi's one of them. Radcliffe. There's a couple others that are part of it. They've done like 4 different series that all air on TBS. I can't remember the name of the little group they call themselves, but anyway,
I'm trying to find anything.
But I enjoyed the movie. It was. It's Weird Al. Like, if you're looking for some serious biopic movie,
that's the thing.
It's not it. It's Weird Al doing Weird Al, and you're kind of like, is this real? No, this can't be real.
Yeah, if you're going in this trying to like take down historical information, you're way better off finding the A&E biography of Weird Al they put out like 15 years ago.
Because I didn't honestly know what to expect when I just started watching it, and then I started going, okay, this is a little over the top. All right.
One thing that,
but to extremes, even like with the way his parents interact with him,
right.
I can't imagine they talk to him like that.
Right. The one thing that got to me, like when I was watching the trailer, and I'm like, okay, this is definitely a parody of a biopic, because I know for a fact in my research and years of Weird Al fandom that he's straight edge, that he doesn't do drugs, doesn't really drink. For the most part, I think maybe he had some, but in this movie, or at least in the trailer for the movie, they push that to an extreme. He's like doing coke in the 80s and all this other crazy stuff. And I'm like, I don't think that was Weird Al.
Well, and the parts that kind of made me laugh, and I don't want to do this without ruining the story and everything, but I'm
pretty sure nobody's going into it for the story.
Weird Al, wanted an accordion.
Uh-huh.
And his dad was, no, you can't. That's the devil's tool, and this and that. And his mom snuck around and got him an accordion. Door-to-door accordion salesman came by. That happens.
Yeah.
And that's what got him into it. But the part that makes me laugh is he sneaks out to go to a party. It's a polka party. I mean, because I'm laughing. I'm like, he must have grown up a different generation I did, because none of our kids snuck out the house to go to a polka party. And that's the first time everyone discovers, because his mom tells him to gets him the accordion, but he can't play it in front of anybody. He can't tell his dad.
But he's just been practicing.
And so accordion gets busted out the party, and they're all like, come on, Al, you could do it. What's the matter? Are you scared? And all of a sudden he grabs it, and then it happens there.
That's amazing.
It's a good movie. It's a good movie.
I always thought, and this is an actual part of his story, I always thought it was funny that literally his name, his actual birth name, is after one of the king's legends of the polka community, Frankie Yankovic, and yet no relation.
No at all. Yeah.
That weirds me out. It's like, what? Huh? But yeah.
Although you learn more about his dad, Corda, maybe. I mean,
you think
because we got to go. But the beginning of the story, you're like, what is going on? And then you understand why at the end. And you're like, oh, and then it's different.
I hope they put out a real one, because I really want to know.
Yeah,
like his actual story.
But it's worth a check out.
For sure.
Go check it out. All right, it's closing in on 8:00. We'll be back. Town Hall News coming up next. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Yeah, you are.
The great one, Mark Levin, is now in Roswell on 106.5 KEND Roswell.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Rich Thomason. Well, the big day finally here, Election Day, with control of both houses of Congress at stake, along with a host of other contests, including some key governorships. And the question on many people's minds, will 45 try again?
Former President Trump teased a third presidential run while campaigning in Ohio Monday night ahead of the final day of voting in this year's midterm elections. He told a cheering crowd in Ohio that he's going to be making a very big announcement on Tuesday, November 15th in Mar-a-Lago. The former president was headlining a rally to bolster Senate candidate J.D. Vance, and he said he didn't want to detract from the importance of Election Day by making his own campaign announcement beforehand. Tasha Stevens reporting.
Senator Rick Scott feeling upbeat on this election day. The Florida Republican chairs the National Republican Senatorial Committee.
We've got a great chance to get 52 plus.
The senator from Florida talking with the Salem Radio Network's Hugh Hewitt. Scott has been busy in the run-up to Election Day. He's been out campaigning for GOP candidates all across the country. Cochise County, Arizona will not be able to tally the ballots the old-fashioned way.
A judge on Monday blocked a rural Arizona county's plan to conduct a full hand count of ballots from the current election, a measure requested by Republican officials who expressed concerns that vote counting machines are untrustworthy. The ruling from Pima County Superior Court Judge Casey F. McGinley came after a full-day hearing on Friday during which opponents presented their case and called witnesses. An appeal of the judge's decision is likely. Keith Peters reporting.
In Pennsylvania, the Fetterman Senate campaign is suing in federal court, looking to have mail-in ballots counted, even if they were not signed with a valid date. On Wall Street, the Dow is up 167 points, the NASDAQ 19 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Hi, I'm Al Abaroa, founder of Knight Strategic Wealth. Inflation is a problem, markets are volatile, and the risk of running out of money in retirement is real. That's why I love annuities, and you should too. Your financial advisor doesn't want you to know that with our annuity strategy, when the stock market goes up, you earn a market-linked return that locks in every year, and when the stock market goes down, your annuity won't lose a dime. There are no unnecessary fees, and it works for your investments, money at a brokerage firm, or even money at a bank. It's simple, it's safe, and you should only invest if you learn the facts. And that's why savvy investors work with us. Want to learn more? Text FREE to 833-898-0500 and we'll send our retirement readiness kit directly to your phone right now. If you want to use safe, low-fee annuities to build a retirement portfolio that will go up with the market and never lose money, get our retirement readiness kit today and see how this strategy can help secure your future. Text FREE to 833-898-0500. Text FREE to 833-898-0500.
7 people arrested in northeast China, detained following a clash between residents and authorities or enforcing COVID-19 restrictions.
A news release from the police department in the Shandong city of Linyai said public security would take strong measures against those who illegally violated the legal rights of personal protection of citizens. Anti-pandemic measures have prompted backlashes across the country, forming a rarely seen challenge to the Communist Party authority. It isn't immediately clear who was arrested after the clash. News of the arrests appeared on social media on Tuesday morning, but were erased by the country's censors before noon. I'm Charles de Ledesma.
The Sandinista National Liberation Front completing its political domination of Nicaragua. Election officials say it's won control of all of the country's 153 municipalities in elections that critics say were unfair. News and analysis, townhall.com. We're still not out of the woods when it comes to a possible freight rail strike. However, another of the 12 railroad unions has approved a proposed deal.
This offers hope that the contract dispute might be resolved without a strike, even though 2 other unions rejected their agreements last month. Now that 52% of International Association of Machinists and Aerospace Workers members who voted approved their deal, several railroad unions have ratified contracts that include 24% raises and $5,000 in bonuses. But all 12 must approve contracts to prevent a strike. So there is concern about a possible economically devastating strike. John Scott reporting.
Walgreens extending its involvement in comprehensive health care. Its Village MD unit has purchased another urgent and primary care chain. The Summit Health City MD deal said to be worth almost $9 billion. More on these stories. Townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 8 o'clock. Welcome to hour number 2.
The Deuce.
Of Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Election Day, everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Welcome to your Tuesday. It's a little foggy out at the moment.
But don't let that dissuade you from getting out to the polls.
Good day for some voting.
That's right.
Unless you already voted, then don't vote.
How about Pokemon Go to the polls? Just cringe.
Never mind. I was going to say something, but I'll keep it to myself. I was going to say, if you're playing Pokemon Go right now, don't vote. Do me a favor. Just keep running around the courtyard there looking for Pokemon.
That's really how you. I mean, if you really want to get people to the polls, set up like a rare Snorlax just shows up at every voting station.
I remember I played it for a minute.
Pokemon Go?
Yeah,
I didn't.
a couple years ago. I did. For like,
everyone around me started to.
Yeah.
Up to and including my wife at the time. I was like, I can't.
But I was incredibly lazy. Like, I'm sitting in my lounge chair doing it, and I'm like, hey, no near me. I'm not traveling around town looking for these things. I'm like, if I can't get it from the bathroom, then I ain't getting it.
It did seem a little odd to me. Allsups, after Yesway bought Allsups, they established that all Allsups were now Pokestops. I'm like, is that still a thing?
Maybe.
But I guess it's made like a resurgence. People are playing it again now. Like, they stopped for a while, and then it's back hip again.
Yeah. You think 40 years from now, whenever we have like the crazy technology, there's going to be like the kids nowadays are going to be our age and they're going, that Pokemon was the best. Let's go play Pokemon out in the courtyard.
I really hope kids in 40 years don't sound like that.
In my head, they do.
How old are you? 47. What happened?
Climate change.
A lot of bad decisions, man. Listen. They came out with new ways to vape in 2035. Don't do it, man. Don't do it.
I upset a Pokemoner.
Come at me, neckbeard. I can't really talk. I can't beard myself right
now. Even those that play Pokemon.
Wait, hold on. Is it who I think it is?
Probably.
Andrea?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. All right.
Well, whether you play...
Just know I will mock you endlessly next time I see you. Show me your Jigglypuff. Oh, not like that.
Y'all do you. I'm going to move on.
I don't know. I always feel like every single time I go to like play one of those games, it's just a massive drain on my battery, and I just don't want to do it.
I don't play games on my phone. I do it all on my iPad.
Yeah.
Because I'm blind, and I don't like it. It's like too small. And to be honest, I play one game right now.
Yeah.
And it's still the same one I've been playing for like a year and a half.
It's that football one, right?
Retro Bowl.
Yeah.
I love it. I grew up in the age of Tecmo Bowl, and this is my version of that. My coach is like 80, and he's like in year 42 of his coaching. And by the way,
he's like Mickey from Rocky.
Yeah, he's won like 42 Super Bowls in a row. Bill Belichick ain't got nothing on me in Retro Bowl.
Fair enough. Here's a wrecking machine.
I have built the Washington Commanders and the Minnesota Vikings to multiple Super Bowl championships. Retro Bowl, excuse me. I'm not allowed to say Super Bowl.
Yeah. How dare you, sir?
All right, go vote today and go vote at one of these places. The Roswell Mall, the Central Church of the Nazarene at 901 East Country Club, Country Club Road Church of Christ at 700 West Country Club. I should have printed this bigger. The Roswell Mall, there at the Roswell Museum, 100 West 11th Street. The Boys and Girls Club at 201 South Garden. New Mexico Game and Fish at 1615 West College. East Grand Plains Elementary on East Grand Plains, 3773. The Chaves County Clerk's Office, actually the south end of the building, 1 St. Mary's Place. Follow the signs. The Church on the Move on Brasher, you can go there. And then in Dexter, at the Dexter Central Office, Hagerman at the Hagerman Joy Center, and at Lake Arthur Schools. They are on Broadway in Lake Arthur. It is, let me see. Okay. Someone's looking for Pokemon at the Country Club.
No.
That's where they're going to be
there you go.
working / looking for Pokemon. So.
Well, I know it's random, but I'm pretty sure that like you can influence certain like rarer Pokemon to show up at your place if you declare yourself a Pokestop.
Oh,
yeah.
I'll look into
that's how I understand it. So,
ladies,
like I guess the library was one for a while. A couple of churches actually got in on it and were like, stop by our place. We're an official Pokestop. But while you're here, here's a pamphlet.
That's not a bad idea.
It drives business.
I guess. Yeah, it's a way.
So if Andrea's an avid Pokemon Go fan, one would think, can't you get with Niantic or whoever the company is that makes it and like establish Pokestops at different downtown businesses? I mean, I would think that would be a great way to drive folks into the door.
Yeah, you want 12-year-olds.
Well, no. Andrea, all right? Just saying, obviously, adults play this. Dude, the adults in my life were playing this game. I didn't want to because I didn't feel like I understood or like the assignment or whatever, but
I've seen the adults in your life. They're immature like us.
Fair enough. My kid's mom, her dad, and several other people just started playing.
Oh,
Pokemon.
You got to level up to level 40, then you can.
Oh, I see. So she's working on it. It's all for the chamber.
I'm like a middleman of dumbness here because I have no idea what they're talking about.
Number. She can just text me.
Vote today and play Pokemon.
And
that was
Pokemon
the moral
Go.
of that story.
Just Pokemon Go to the polls. That's all we're trying to say.
A Pokey went. It is 8:12. Let's just do the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll start off with a few clouds today, but clearing up by midday and especially this afternoon, turning sunny. Our afternoon high in the low to mid 70s, and it will be a little bit breezy. Wind occasionally gusting up to about 25 miles per hour. Some clouds and mid 50s for the overnight hours and windy, and then a mix of sun and clouds coming up on Wednesday. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 61 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 78%. Winds currently out of the southwest at 6 miles per hour. Cloudy today through mid-morning, but gradually clearing. Expect a high of 75 once all this cloud stuff goes away. South winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Patchy fog will be moving back into the area tonight after 11. Otherwise, increasing clouds with an overnight low of 54. So pretty warm overnight still. Winds out of the south 10 to 15 miles per hour. Waking up to some patchy fog tomorrow morning, but otherwise mostly sunny for the day. Warm. Tomorrow's going to be our warm day. Highs near 80 expected, 79 officially. South winds 10 to 15 miles per hour early, increasing 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour by tomorrow afternoon. For Thursday, sunny, cooler, 67 for a high. Winds out of the north 10 to 15. For Veterans Day, we're not getting to 60. Sunny, highs near 57. And then for the weekend, mostly sunny, 57 on Saturday. So bring jackets for playoff football and Veterans Day celebrations this weekend. And then Sunday, mostly sunny, 63 for a high there. All right, it is 8:15. We're going to take a quick commercial break. And then on the other side, from the Chavez County Health Council, we'll have Diane Taylor and Mike Harrington. Sheriff Mike Harrington, yes. I think he's wearing his Health Council hat, though. He's not sheriff right now. So we're going to take a break. We'll have them join us on the other side. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
This is Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Together, we can take back our public lands while preserving the integrity of your vote. It's easy to vote for Larry Marker. On your ballot, go to the space provided for declared write-in candidate. It's under the heading Commissioner of Public Lands. Mark the oval and write in Larry Marker. Together, we can take back our public lands and preserve the integrity of your vote. Go to LarryMarker.com for more information. Thank you.
Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Paid for by the Friends of Larry Marker.
Primera Independent Physicians offers world-class health care right here in Roswell. With their state-of-the-art facility, your family can receive expert care from many specialty doctors and experts covering oncology, hematology, neurology, rheumatology, endocrinology, primary care, and internal medicine. Lab services, radiology, and infusion center, all without leaving our community. Primera Independent Physicians, located at 400 Military Heights Place, near the corner of Country Club and Military Heights in Roswell.
Wakefield Oil Company is a name you can rely on with full service at the pump the way it used to be. You can expect service in just 15 seconds. They offer bulk fuel and oil services and even diesel exhaust fluid. Wakefield Oil Company will deliver to farms, ranches, dairies, the oil fields, and more with dependable service you can count on. So the next time you need service or delivery, go with the name that locals have trusted since 1983. Wakefield Oil Company, 311 South Virginia in Roswell. Let them earn your business.
Has the cost of health insurance kept you from enjoying the peace of mind knowing you and your family are covered for unexpected medical issues? Then we have great news just for you. Quality health insurance is more affordable than ever, thanks to federal and now state-funded financial assistance. Most uninsured New Mexicans will qualify for lower out-of-pocket costs than ever before. Let the friendly and knowledgeable team at Be Well NM guide you through the process to help you find out how little you can pay for quality, name brand health insurance. And our services are free. Visit BeWellNM.com today.
If you're missing a tooth or several teeth, a dental implant may be the ultimate solution. Implants look and feel so much like real teeth that you probably forget you have an implant. Maupin and Brown Dentistry is one of New Mexico's most experienced implant providers, with literally thousands of implant patients who are absolutely delighted with the results. Call Maupin and Brown today for an evaluation. You'll be surprised how affordable implants can be. Maupin and Brown, your choice for experienced, state-of-the-art dentistry.
District playoff action gets underway this Saturday afternoon for your Roswell Coyotes as they begin another drive towards Big Blue at the Wool Bowl, taking on the Panthers of Gadsden High. 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and KSBPTV.com will be there for every second of the action. Join Art Sandoval and Kelly McDonald for the pregame show beginning at 11:45 and kickoff at noon. Coyotes versus the Panthers of Gadsden High, Saturday beginning at 11:45 on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM and online at KSBPTV.com. Southeastern New Mexico's sports authority, then, now, and always.
Your fingernails grow faster on your dominant hand. Not sure which is your dominant hand? Just wait. You'll nail it. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 18 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Health Council, Diane Taylor back with us, and the Sheriff, Mike Harrington, also joining us as well. Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
How's everybody doing today?
Good morning.
Doing fantastic.
Happy Election Day. And,
yes.
Did you early vote, Sheriff? Because I imagine your day gets kind of busy. You going to have time to go hit the polls here today?
And I saved it because I want to be there actually on voting day.
Okay.
So I put it out there yesterday that go vote. I'll be out there at about 10:30. That's when I'm going to go. And
okay.
It is to me very important to be there on Election Day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and I just want to make sure that everybody gets out there and take everybody because this is an important. Very important election.
Absolutely.
Across the board.
Polls are open till 7.
Yes.
I read the list earlier. I'll read it one more time here later on. But there's like 12 different places throughout Chaves County that you can vote at any one of them. Don't forget. Right. So if you were working here but live in Lake Arthur or vice versa, you can vote in Lake Arthur or Hagerman, here in Roswell, wherever. It doesn't matter. Dexter doesn't matter. So.
We have voting centers.
Yes. The convenience centers. They're very nice.
So
they're
everything you've been screaming about, now's the time to make the difference and go vote.
Absolutely.
So this is where you get a say.
Absolutely.
So it's a good thing.
All you people yelling and screaming on social media and Facebook and what have you, that's fun, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's not doing anything. So this is doing something.
Time.
So go vote.
Good. Yes.
So since I know we talked to the Health Council a couple weeks ago here, but since then I know you guys, we were focusing more on a mental health organization. They're kind of getting off the ground. They got a big event planned at the Wool Bowl.
Yes.
I think later, is it next year or later next year? I think
next year.
Yeah, February
next year.
time frame. Yeah. But the Health Council's got a lot more going on than that right now. The 211's a big thing. We want to always keep reminding people as a resource and always looking for more people to kind of roll up their sleeves and serve on the Health Council, right?
Yes, we're working collaboration, and that's a very important issue.
Mm-hmm.
It coming together with different agencies. I am the prevention specialist with the Chaves County DWI and DUI.
Yes, that's kind of your day job.
That's my day job, but
it
fits very well in, and we work in partnership with the Health Council because part of it is developing healthy brains and bodies. And today we're facing, have you ever heard of powdered alcohol?
Powdered alcohol?
Powdered alcohol. Here's
like Kool-Aid, like you mix with water?
Yes,
holy
but
cow.
And it was legalized in New Mexico about 4 or 5 years ago. And it's popular.
Okay.
It's easy to hide, disguise.
Sure, it looks like a fruit punch or
right.
Yeah.
And ingest.
And once you put liquid water into it, it kind of dilutes it, but it's more has more strength if you just use it as a powder.
Oh, I got you. So they're probably snorting it or Lord knows what else they're doing to it.
Vaping alcohol.
Okay, yeah, okay.
And we're also very much dealing with vaping. Vaping amongst teens is just out of sight.
Mm-hmm.
The average age teens begin to vape is 11 years old.
Wow, that is young.
Yes.
Well, and it's been made to look cool, though.
Right.
So that's been one of the biggest issues that I've seen is they'll say, "Oh, it is nothing but a juice, like a fruit juice or whatever." But see, when they see these other people blowing out these big old puffs of supposedly smoke or mist or whatever it is.
Well, I mean, it's too easy to lace that with marijuana or just nicotine.
Oh, yes.
You know?
But it's been made to look cool.
Yeah.
And what we're trying to explain to them, and one thing that Diane has a lot of material on, is it's not what it does to you right now. It's what it does to your body over a period of time. And it is a very dangerous way of, I know a lot of people who are trying to quit smoking. That says, "Oh, I'm now vaping." Well, I thank you for not smoking for the second hand smoke.
There's not the secondhand issue on the vaping, unless you don't like cherry or
but what it does
boysenberry
is,
or whatever flavor they're using.
What it does is it puts a poison into you that is not good, and so
and it's especially worse. I mean, adults you know, adults do adults, you know, you know the risk, you understand them.
Yeah.
But it's so much worse for teenagers and younger kids because your body is still developing.
Right.
Not only that.
Mentally and physically, and it can mess that up.
Not only that, but vaping has to have heat. And the heat, people don't realize in all vapes, I don't care what it is, nicotine, THC, synthetic drugs, has heat. And when you vape, it's like cooking on a stove and you're frying something and the splatter, the grease goes, all the little bubbles. Well, you're ingesting that, and that's what popcorn lung is. Is when you ingest
blisters.
the oil, the cooking oil, it leaves all these like little bubbles on your lungs, and you can't clean it off like you do a stove.
Sure.
So what you have now to start with is popcorn lung. And you add the synthetics. You have the natural THC. Marijuana has been legalized. Prohibition on that's over no matter what your stand is on it. It's legal.
Sure.
What we have now to deal with, where the kids are involved, they're dealing more with the synthetics, and it's a chemical.
And that's way more dangerous than your natural.
Right. And then we have fentanyl.
Yeah.
We have little education on these topics. We have a very serious problem in all schools, especially middle schools and high schools. The school districts are begging to have people come in. I have this man come in. His name is Chad Curry. He works out of University Hospital in Lubbock. He's a chief EMS, and he's coming in. I had him to all high schools in the county. He was so phenomenal. They're begging for him to come back. His approach isn't legal. It is purely what is happening to your developing brain and body.
It's like, hey, this showing you the risks, the things. This is why everyone's telling you it's bad to do this. And I understand teenagers are teenagers. No one can tell a teenager, you know, especially parents.
Well,
you know, they just you're at an age where you know it all, and no one can tell you different. And that's why you need something to say, look, see, this is what we're saying. I know it seems fine now, and as a teenager, you're indestructible, and you don't think about, you know,
the future
the consequences
even
of things.
tomorrow.
And unfortunately, that's why it's so tragic, is because, you've got your whole life ahead of you, but you're going to ruin it by doing something like this. And that's, you know, once you're an adult and you're developed and you make decisions, I don't recommend, but it's on you.
Yeah.
But it's so vital when you're still mentally and physically developing to not intrude into that anyway or contribute anything that's going to hurt that, because that's going to lead to not even just the popcorn lung, that kind of stuff. How much mental development and stuff is getting stunted because of you using cannabis or something else. Yeah,
so, you know,
exactly.
That's one of the things that, you know, and as you know, I am the chairman of the DWI committee. And one of the things that we have seen an increase in is marijuana use by youngsters.
Well, it's a lot more available, so it makes sense.
But in the vape, in regular marijuana, and one of the things is, you know, edibles.
Yeah.
And one of the things that they say every time is it's legal. Well, what we're trying to tell you is, just like alcohol, it's legal for someone who's 21 years of age and older, because what we're hoping, and we probably sadly mistaken, is that when you reach 21, you understand the risks, and your brain is still not developed till they say like 27 years of age.
You're not ready to roll.
You're not ready to go then, but what we know is that we're hoping that you have the ability to make good decisions.
Sure.
Where as a youngster under the age of 21, and that's why we take people into the military at the age of 18, because we want you to not be thinking about what's on that hill. Whenever I say, let's take that hill, you're going to run to that hill, even if people are shooting back at you, because you don't believe bad things can happen to you.
Yeah.
And that is one of the,
you're
indestructible.
Yeah.
And so what's happening with these vapes is you're getting these young kids who are doing things that are going to seriously cause them issues for the rest of their life, and they just don't know it. And that's what Diane is. We're very thankful for her, because she does go out there into the schools, and you're trying to teach this, but it is a very difficult thing to do, to teach somebody bad things are going to happen because they don't believe it's going to happen.
Well,
to them.
And as Diane mentioned earlier, yes, the vaping and all that, but the fentanyl side, and unfortunately with that one, because kids are kids, humans are humans. You experiment, you try something, you had a party, you try some marijuana.
Yep.
But at the end of the day, it's not, that doesn't have a lasting impression with this fentanyl.
You could be dead.
It's here.
Yeah, you're dead the first time you try it, and you may not even know you had it because they're lacing it in heroin, cocaine, and you've got pretty much anything now.
That's the key
in a
point.
drops or a powder.
Yeah.
And we have it right here in Roswell.
Oh, yeah.
And right here in our school.
No, I'm sure your officers see it every single day on the streets. Yeah.
And some of the one of the worst things about the fentanyl is exactly what you just said. A lot of people may buy marijuana, not from a dispensary, but from off the street.
And you don't know what you're getting.
And you don't know what you're getting, and that one that is laced with fentanyl, and it will kill you. And we see
it's so scary.
It is very scary. And
unfortunately, you do not get a second chance with the fentanyl. I mean, we talk about the marijuana and drug, and surely we don't want you to go down those paths, but at least with that, there's a chance for redemption or a chance to kind of turn it around.
Right.
Fentanyl, if you have one bad trip or bad whatever,
you're done.
It's curtains. It's done. You're dead, or if not dead,
worse.
Basically mentally incapacitated the rest of your life.
And we have a new synthetic fentanyl, and fentanyl now it used to be blue, kind of blue. Now it's multicolor. It comes
Skittles.
So it looks appealing, like like Lifesavers.
So that's why they call it
the
Skittle Party, right?
Okay.
Because it's different colors. You can't tell. Used to, we know if you had fentanyl because they were little blue pills and looking like oxycodone, right?
Gotcha. Okay.
And now you just don't know, and that's the scariest part about fentanyl or anything that you're taking now, because it's supposed to be the bump to any drug you take, methamphetamine, whatever. It gives you a longer high, I guess.
Unfortunately, it's a permanent.
It's a permanent deal.
Deal.
And I pray to God that we just don't find young kids dead because of
and
this,
that's what the scary part is. You don't even have to take it to be effective. I mean, this is
you can just touch it.
Like his officers, like the sheriff's deputies and things. They constantly on guard for when they come in contact with people that possibly could be having possession or on fentanyl. All it takes is for them to search one pocket and come in contact with it, and now their life's in danger.
Well,
it's that
Narcan.
serious.
We would use Narcan for someone who overdosed on heroin.
Can't do it.
And you
doesn't work with the fentanyl, huh?
It takes up to 6-7 of the Narcans to do anything if you're lucky.
Do you guys even have usually 7 of them on hand to do? Yeah.
And you're just usually saving those for the officers.
Yeah.
Because that could be a bad thing. So.
Yeah, it's so serious out there, and kids are so daring. They don't know what they're buying.
Sure.
And the average, we just did a big survey, after doing some programs, no names, nothing. And the goal we wanted, where are you contacting your buyers? Snapchat.
That seems to be the most common place that people are finding their connections for drugs.
Snapchat, and they'll meet them at the schools. They'll meet them anywhere.
Interesting.
And my question after this past 6 months, where are the kids getting the money for this?
Right?
I mean,
stealing.
We're giving free lunch, but they can go to school and go on Snapchat and buy whatever
Well, yeah,
they
I mean,
want.
you see a lot. That's why copper is so valuable, and catalytic converters and all the things because someone will buy those nefariously.
Yeah.
And that's just it. That's part of everything, And I know when the sheriff comes on his own here, that's a lot of time we talk about, him visiting the quote the merchants that buy these things and cracking down on that side of it, making it much harder for them to get money for these things. And so there's all different angles at which you try to stop it. And to be honest, at the end of the day, the only way we can truly stop it is parents and people educating and getting that information and telling them the dangers of all this stuff. This isn't like when you were a kid and you tried pot for the first time and got sick and puked in the tree in the backyard. This is a different scenario than what we're talking about.
A lot of this stuff, though, that comes in is they get it from their parents.
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is that because it's like anything, all of a sudden they legalize marijuana. Everyone wants to try marijuana. So now instead of having it hid somewhere so that no one finds it, it's sitting on your dresser.
Sure.
Well, now your kids come in, just like if you have a bunch of pills in your medicine cabinet.
Absolutely.
They're going to come in, they're going to try it. They're going to, it's where they pour all the different pills into
the pill
bowl.
parties.
The pill parties, and they just eat whatever.
Skittle parties.
Yeah. And I can tell you this, whenever I started my blood pressure medicine, if you're not used to blood pressure medicine, it will send you into a craziness, right?
You lose your ability to tolerate heat. That's one thing I've noticed because I'm on blood pressure meds too, and I don't do well enough.
So how they eat them by the handfuls, I have no idea.
I'm kind of like, you want that?
Yeah,
why would you want this?
Why would you want that?
I don't want this.
But that's what we're seeing more of is the availability of all of this has become more accessible to the kids because it's now legal. And the problem is, for me specifically, is rather than buying it from your local dispenser or whatever, the drug dealers have been empowered. Because now you don't have to carry a big old bag full. You just carry enough for personal use. And if you get stopped, marijuana is personal use. Yeah. So,
but there's no penalty either.
No penalties.
No. And this is something, there's a dispensary who's really come forward. I have the PVC, Pecos Valley Production, where they said, hey, we want to be part of education. We want to be part of this. But
being responsible business owners. It's kind of a nice thing when you have that.
Education, because we don't want to be associated with the street drug either.
Sure. Yeah, they don't want that bringing their reputation down. Yeah, exactly.
But what we have to really address is we have no legislation or penalties or education. All the money that is taken in from the taxes for this, not one penny comes back for education, treatment, law enforcement.
Where it's the different with alcohol and all that.
Exactly.
That's and that's something our legislators are probably going to have to, now they made it legal. All right, now we got, which was part of, I think, a lot of people's issues the first time. It's like, wonderful, you're making it legal, but what's the game plan? How are we going to? And they made it legal and basically said, all right, we're going to leave it up to all the municipalities to figure it out. Yeah. And then
which is crazy,
and that's not a good way to do this.
But
municipalities can't even figure it out.
Exactly.
But Colorado has already invented the wheel. They have already got it laid out of what the penalties are.
Gotcha.
Why we just don't come in and adopt that? It rather than trying to sit back.
If it's
and
not broke,
but I mean, these other places have already got it and seen the problems that it had before they enacted penalties.
Sure.
And now they've enacted these penalties. Why we didn't go in and say, hey, is that working for you? Let's
do some research
just adopt that rather than trying to, rather than waiting.
Yeah.
Because right now it's the waiting game to see how is this really going to affect us? How's this going to affect our kids? How's this going to? I'm just telling you right now, we put the cart before the horse and legalize marijuana without having all the preventions in place.
Yeah.
And we as law enforcement are really behind the curve, but more importantly, we're losing young kids to these things.
Yeah.
Either they stay living and have no desire to do anything, or they're dying.
Yeah, and it's sad.
We've got to
very
do something.
sad.
Yeah, right here in Roswell, we have kids taken right from a school to a hospital because they're so sophisticated anymore. Like a little iWatch, that's your vape pen.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's
like secret agent drugging.
Right. But they're so small, and you don't have the odor, and you don't have that puff
So
anymore.
you don't know, it's
so
not
they're
like
doing it right in
at least with
class.
alcohol, you can smell it on them or something. Yeah, you know. Yeah.
You have an ink pen where they make their own vape pens. I had, DWI. I have my little DWI ink pens that we give out. One was picked up that a kid turned into a vape pen.
Wow.
And but they're very sophisticated
that's
with how
crazy.
they
So
make
smart,
them, and they're very small.
I've joked with the sheriff about this. I was like, we need to take the ingenuity that comes out of jail, which is kind of the same technology here, and put it to good use. Because, I mean, they come up, like if we could turn some, because it's quite ingenuitive the way they come up with some of this stuff. It's like, man, if you could turn that into, something that's going to fix the world instead of inhale drugs into your body. I agree. How great would that be?
Yeah, the sweatshirts, they have like the strings on them. Do you know they're vape pens now?
They can make that into a vape pen, too?
The little cords.
The technology.
I'm feeling old today.
So you just don't know.
Yeah.
But when they can do it right in a classroom.
Yeah, and not get caught.
In front of a teacher, not get caught. Yeah. And that's to the degree we're at. And the sophistication, as you very well put it, and ingenuity. Well, and then they get an F in the class. Can't they use some of that brain power?
The brain's there. It's just you got to focus that direction on it, and that's the age-old question: how do we get kids to do that? But I can tell you this: it's going to take an active role by the parents and guardians.
Yes,
the people, law enforcement, the county, the city. They can enact and encourage and create all kinds of programs and create all kinds of avenues for you to help. But at the end of the day, if it's got to be up to the parents and the families to sit down and because you're the ones that see these kids day in and day out. You're the ones that know when things aren't right, when things don't seem normal with your child. You're the one who has to be that observant one that says, they're acting different. I wonder what's going on. Is it something in school or is it something, else? Are they getting involved in something they shouldn't be? And that's parents. You got to be parents on this one. That for the sake of your kids, you have to be parents.
Well,
remember, this is business.
Yeah,
these entities are in to make a profit. Alcohol sales, when they went down, other sales went up. So what now you have, and I'd like you to Google alcohol and marijuana and see how they're blending them now, and the different soft drinks. It's legal. It's edible.
I knew they were doing some of that, and
it's very.
And they're both depressants.
Yeah.
So now you have an alcohol, a drink that is infused with marijuana.
Yeah.
Both of them being depressants.
And they probably, if they're having a bad day and they drink a beer and smoke a joint to kind of, or have this whatever concoction.
You can drink the beer with the marijuana.
Yeah. They have it infused in there.
Yeah.
So now you're going to have. And you're not going to have. We are already having suicides are really out of control.
Well, mental health is a huge issue.
Mental health is
drugs
an issue.
Aside, it's a contributing factor, but that's already a problem anyway.
Yeah. Well, that's exactly right. And
just look at the world we've been through, and depression and isolation. All of that has conjured up, and then we make marijuana legal in the middle of all this, and people are like, I'm just going to get baked tonight or whatever it is, and it's different, and let's face it, that marijuana, it makes you think. It things that
racing through your mind.
Things that weren't good ideas sober start becoming good ideas under the influence.
Yeah.
And then, unfortunately, suicide. I mean,
it's like alcohol.
Yeah.
It's the same effects on the brain.
Yeah.
I mean, why why do you, at a young age, need to go and get drunk or get high? What is
It's the
it?
thing to do.
Yeah.
That's
Right.
what it is.
It may
Peer
seem
pressure.
cool at the minute, but yeah, there's so many people that have made a mistake that they don't get to come back from because of those things.
It's permanent.
And unfortunately, there's been a bunch of people that have had the mistake and got away with it, and they think that they can do it again,
Yep.
and it's Russian roulette. It's
Well,
someday that's going to catch up with. They may spin the chamber and not come up with a bullet 5, 6, 7 times, but one of those times it's going to be a bullet in there, and you're going to pay the price. So
Well, it's
that's
like-
the unfortunate thing is if someone gets away with it once,
Right.
and succeeds, and they think they can do it again, and it's like,
Well,
you're just
the chances
shortening that fuse real quick.
It's like
on your life.
my DWI pictures that I put on the Facebook page, right? Travis County
Awesome
Sheriff's
job.
Facebook page. Those individuals, this isn't the first time they drove drunk. This is the
first time they got caught.
This is the first time they got caught.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we know is they're like, you know what? I've done this 1,000 times, and I don't know why you're saying I'm drunk. I don't know why you're saying I'm impaired. But to them, because they did it once, they continue to do it, and then you're going to get caught. And when you get caught, then it's an eye-opening experience because you've been arrested. But we see it doesn't stop those, because they've already been doing it, from doing it again.
Right.
So you'll see, and just like they put on my Facebook page, this looks like some of the same people you've arrested before.
It's like, because it is.
It is.
There's the frequent
And
flyers.
of all ages.
Yeah, of all ages.
And I would argue that some of those people are probably dealing with other issues other than alcohol.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, it's things in their life. I mean, this is, and I'm not trying to, promote one over,
Yeah.
but like anytime you have your faith-based treatment programs, whether it's Celebrate Recovery or Alcoholics, whatever it is, there's a lot of great organizations.
Yeah.
I find that the faith-based ones have better success rates because they're doing more than just getting you off the substance.
Right.
You can go to a regular rehab and they may get you off the physical addiction of drug or alcohol, but it doesn't fill the void that you were trying to fill in the first place by drinking. There's something, that void in your life, and the faith-based, a lot of them give that path for some people.
Your faith-based programs
Yeah.
are the very best and most successful programs,
Mhm.
and exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It gives you hope. It gives you a place to go, and it builds up your own confidence, your own person.
And they don't care if your benefits run out on your insurance.
This is true.
Yeah.
You know,
that's a very valid point.
It is a very valid
It's like
point.
I'm sober as long as my insurance is paying for
That's
it,
exactly right. So when you go into a residential treatment facility and your insurance says we're going to keep you here for this many days, but that day it doesn't matter how you are, you're out.
Right.
Where, like you say, the faith-based ones, they keep you there, and not only do they keep you there, but they check on you.
But and they also try to keep you from going back to the circles you were.
That's right.
Before when you were
Shows
having
you.
your problems,
Yeah.
because
They
that's
have
half the battle.
fewer, faith-based has the fewest relapse.
Mhm.
And
Because they're giving purpose to people.
and they give them purpose.
And when people have a purpose, they're going to want to do things. And
I
that's-
agree.
Yeah.
So that's it.
So please understand the risks here, and this is something. Please utilize the Chaves County Health Council has a lot of resources.
Yes.
If you're a parent or any person really that's looking for information, if you're thinking, hey, I want to learn more about how to understand the signs with my kids, reach out to the Chaves County Health Council. I would say just call 211. 211 is the easiest, best way. Now, if you got an emergency, call 911.
Absolutely.
But if you just want to find a healthcare professional in the community, or you want a link to resources on anything, if you questions, like even like New Mexico Health Department questions, call 211. If it's something they handle, they'll tell you. Just go to the office, ask for this. They'll do this and do.
Yep.
But if you want more information on hey, I'm my kid, I'm acting funny. They don't seem normal.
Yeah.
What's the signs? What am I looking for?
Take action.
Mhm.
And law enforcement too. He's not here. They don't. They're very much embracing it. Also,
Mhm.
they don't want to just arrest. They want to help.
Absolutely.
They want to be part of solving the solution.
They're tired of seeing the same people every day too.
Every day.
They would love to see those people another day and they're not drunk.
I'd
They're
rather
not
see
high.
you at a community event, than taking you to jail. And that's one of the you hit it right on the head. It is the same people doing the same thing over and over because the justice system has failed, and also I believe because of insurance reasons and other reasons, the treatment has failed.
Yes.
And one of the things is, and I will tell you, we have some great facilities here to deal with the mentally ill, but you can't force the mentally ill individuals to go to that facility.
They're not going to be receptive. They're not.
I would like to see more mobile mental health groups like you see in some of the bigger cities that actually go out
to like the homeless
homeless camps
communities
and to these areas
Great idea.
And walk up to them. But there's always the risk that when you enter their territory, and they're not wanting the help, that you can get injured, and that's we've seen that as an increase. So
because their mental health, a lot of people are dealing with mental health issues,
deal with
and
mental health.
They don't see you as a help. They see you as a hurt, and they're
really
going to treat you as such.
They really do.
Yeah,
yes.
It is a slippery slope, but
it is. But
that's why we love our volunteers that do these kind of things.
If you have,
so amazing.
If you have that desire and that true dedication to making a difference, you're going to go do it. And I will tell you that once you go out there, and I'm able to do this myself, is a lot of the people who already know you and know where you stand, when you do approach them, they know why you're there. I'm not there to take you to jail. I'm not there to do this or that.
There to check on.
I'm just there to check on you, make sure you're okay.
And he's there not only to check. I have to really compliment the sheriff on his willingness to be out there to help educate, sends his deputies. And
I've seen it firsthand.
Yes, to connect with the community. I'm not the bad guy. I'm not here, to arrest you.
They're
We're
literally
here
solving problems.
That's
what
right.
they're doing.
Right.
That's right.
And reaching out to the community. How do we communicate better? How do we solve the problem in your neighborhood?
Sure.
There is no difference in a zip code, last name.
That's right.
We're
Doesn't
all
matter.
in the same boat.
Yeah.
And I really would
We
like
all
to
have someone in the
compliment-
family who's got those issues.
Absolutely.
So,
And every officer, whether they're New Mexico State Police or
Everybody.
Chaves County Sheriff or Roswell Police Department or whatever agencies I've missed there, they all have that goal of wanting to help and making sure people
And
are
put their
safe
life
and
on
secure.
the line.
yeah.
Absolutely.
And that goes for just first responders in general.
Yeah.
We have a very dedicated group of first responders that were born and raised here. So this isn't somebody you're coming into and dealing with strangers. You're dealing with people who you know.
Yeah, they know the
so
neighborhoods.
You do care.
They know
You
the
do
people.
care about
Yeah.
them.
This is their homes too.
Right.
Yeah.
And you care about them. And it's a sad thing to see somebody who had some self-worth and not worth anything really, I'm not saying by anybody else, but had some self-worth to all of a sudden be at a point in their life where they are almost to the point of wanting to kill themselves.
Yeah.
And you're just like, man, what happened? And you want to come in and you want to help that.
Sure.
And jail is not always the answer. Now, when you do something that's crazy and you got to go to jail, that's one option. But really and truly, we do want to help you.
Absolutely.
I've seen it more so than anything, and I'm on a first name basis with a lot of them. And
our judges see that too, and
all the
they
judges
generally,
see that.
it doesn't matter what court it is, they see,
But
and they know when to punish versus when they say, you know what, we need to kind of remind them why they're here and what we need.
And
to do.
until our legislation changes things and actually does some stuff to where instead of saying you can't be tried for this crime, we're going to let you out.
Mm-hmm.
We need to have a place we can put you to help you get stable.
Yeah.
And, however that's going to be, but we just need some help from our legislators.
Sure. Makes
Even
sense.
our outlining communities, you have Dexter, Lake Arthur, Hagerman, who seem like they're out there. They're out there. They're law enforcement also, and they're first responders.
They're great, close-knit communities.
Yes,
yeah.
but they have the same problems. They're out there working to do the same thing.
Absolutely.
And it takes a team. The health council, law enforcement, all the community agencies want to work together.
Absolutely.
That's our goal. And that was one of the foundations
Absolutely.
of Chaves County Health Council, coming together as a team. And not just locally, but we need to make ourselves known and have a voice in Santa Fe.
Absolutely.
As we speak now, we really have nothing we can do to arrest these. A misdemeanor is what you get for marijuana use, and a $50 fine the most. So I get more in a speeding ticket.
Right. That's not much of an incentive not to do it again. That makes
but
sense.
I thank you and 106.5 to bring all these forward, to give a platform that we can address and speak. You're an important part of the community. You're an important part of the awareness and education.
Tell my mom.
Yeah. Your mom did a good job. You just have the wrong team there,
I
though.
know. Well, I was born in the wrong spot, dang it, and they got it stuck in my brain, and I can't get out. I was like, this team's awful, and I wish I didn't like them, but I love them, and I can't help it. So.
And you're loyal to them.
I am.
You have to
Gosh, I am. I don't know why I am.
You have to be after all the changes in the names and everything else. It's been crazy. But
I am.
I wanted to bring up the Veterans Day Parade.
Yes.
Yes, this Saturday.
We are at the Sheriff's Office are going to be doing the escort for that. We're going to be doing a rolling escort. So we want people to get out there. We want them to be supportive and understand that we're not going to be shutting down intersections.
Yes.
But as we roll through those intersections, we will close them down. So it's going to be a continuous deal. But this is going to also help where the veterans don't get charged a fee for having the Veterans Day Parade by the city.
Yeah, there's a lot of behind the scenes
So,
on that
yes.
one,
And so, but I will
And
tell
that's
you.
pathetic that even think of charging that fee.
Yes, it is. And so the Sheriff's Office will be out there. We will be closing down intersections as they go through that. But I want this community to get out there and support our veterans.
9 a.m.
And 9 a.m.
Chaves County Courthouse lawn.
Yep. And I'm telling you, we need your support, and the people who have given everything need to be recognized during this. And I'm telling you, it's not just those who've passed away. There are some that have come home from these wars, and they really need to know we support them.
Absolutely.
And so
I would imagine your sheriff's deputies are to deal with a few veterans that are dealing with some issues and things like that.
And I'm a veteran of the Air Force, and I will tell you, there is no more pride in me than to say that I served this country.
I agree with that.
And I have so much respect for them, and I'm going to do everything I can to make sure this community knows we have heroes here.
Well, we appreciate that.
So
we appreciate
it's
you
important.
guys. So come on out Saturday, 9 a.m. And like I said, we'll have about a 30, 40-minute presentation there on the courthouse lawn, and then the parade will roll north towards the Wool Bowl, then hang out to the Wool Bowl. We're going to have a little tailgate. We'll call it a pre-playoff tailgate party. Because they're going to kick us out because there's a game at 1 at the Wool Bowl there.
Right.
So we got to about noon or so to come and I think the guard's going to have a few things out there. We're going to have other people setting up booths and things. So
thank you for letting us put that out there.
Well, thank you guys. And
Thank you.
And of course, reach out. The Chaves County Health Council has a Facebook page. And follow that if you want to. Any questions? 211. That's their number for you to call for anything health related. However, if it is a medical emergency, don't use that. Use 911. But if you got resources, questions, suspecting your kids maybe getting into things and looking for resources to help, 211 is your source there.
And go vote.
Go vote. Yes.
Go vote.
Early and
Very
often.
important.
Just kidding.
Yes. So
we need to vote.
That's right.
Today is the actual voting day. Your vote is so important.
Absolutely.
Get out there and let's vote, and let's make a difference.
Otherwise, you have no right to complain on Facebook.
That's right.
So,
That's right. Well,
thank you guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much.
We'll see you Friday, Sheriff.
Yes.
You're back on Friday.
Yep,
at
I'll
8
be
o'clock
here.
hour. Cool.
This Friday or next Friday?
I think it's this Friday. Let me confirm.
Because make sure, because I think I'm the next Friday.
Okay, let me look here. And
while you get this done,
quick news. We'll be back.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Monday's Powerball jackpot is on hold. Yes, that's right. There was no Powerball drawing held Monday night. When it came time to do the live drawing, a host said there was a delay due to one of the 48 state participants who did not submit their safety and security protocols in time. Therefore, the Powerball drawing was not expected to be held until later Tuesday. A reminder that Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia city administration offices and certain other city facilities will be closed on Friday in observance of Veterans Day. Some city services will have an adjusted schedule for that Friday or the week. In addition to Roswell city offices, the Roswell Public Library, Roswell Museum, and Roswell Adult Center will be closed on Friday, Veterans Day. The Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center, Spring River Zoo, and Roswell Visitor Center will be open on Veterans Day. You're up to date. I'm Jared Sorello reporting.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander. Apple expects lower shipments of iPhone 14 models than previously anticipated, following a significant production cut at a virus-blighted plant in China, dampening its sales outlook for the busy year-end holiday season. British businesses fear a gloomy Christmas ahead, as almost half of households plan to cut festive spending due to the soaring cost of living, and sales are already falling sharply in inflation-adjusted terms. In one survey, 48% plan to spend less this Christmas. Tyson Foods Chief Financial Officer John R. Tyson, a great-grandson of the company's founder, has been charged with public intoxication and criminal trespassing after allegedly entering a stranger's home and falling asleep on her bed. According to an incident report provided by the Fayetteville, Arkansas Police Department, officers received a call early Sunday morning from a woman who had returned home to find a man she didn't know sleeping in her bed. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bill Alexander in Washington.
Jennifer from Trustmark Roofing here, and I can tell you it's not always easy being a female in a male-dominated business like roofing. I remember one time I was at a meeting to bid on the roof for a local college, and it was me and 13 men. Well, I won that bid, and I'd like to win your business too. My dad was a contractor, and I've been around building and roofing my whole life. I'm licensed and bonded, and I've forgotten more about roofing than most roofers ever knew in the first place. But what really sets Trustmark apart is an obsessive attention to detail that ensures that everything goes smoothly the first time. I promise we will treat you right with respect and we will make you happy. So yeah, it might be a bit odd for a woman to own a roofing company, but give us a try. Let us give you an estimate for your roof. I think you'll be glad you called. For all your roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at TrustmarkRoofPros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
When you choose your doctor, do you make that decision based on political affiliation? Of course not. You base your decision on competence, knowledge, and experience. Same for a district judge. Do your homework. Check qualifications. There's only one clear choice. That's why Republicans and Democrats are pulling together to elect Judge Eileen Reardon, 5th District Judge, Division I, Chavez, Lee, and Eddy County. Experience, fair, vote Judge Eileen Reardon. Paid for by the committee to elect Judge Eileen Reardon, Steve McCutcheon, Treasurer.
I'm Judge Reardon, and I approve this message.
Your home for Coast to Coast AM in Roswell, 106.5, Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, Roswell, New Mexico.
That Republican National Committee Chair Ronna McDaniel uses a referendum on failed Democrat policies.
You look at the drug crisis, our kids have been left behind by these lockdowns. On every single issue, the Democrats have failed, and the American people right now are about to deliver them their report card. And the communities that have been hurt the most, in a lot of cases, have been minority communities.
McDaniel talking with the Salem Radio Network's Hugh Hewitt. The campaign of Pennsylvania U.S. Senate candidate Democrat John Fetterman is going to court, looking to have mail-in ballots counted even if they are undated or misdated. The Pennsylvania Supreme Court recently ordered those ballots to be set aside and excluded from the count. Speculation over whether former President Trump will make another run for the White House could have the answer soon.
I'm going to be making a very big announcement on Tuesday, November 15th at Mar-a-Lago in Palm Beach, Florida.
Mr. Trump addressing a campaign rally in Dayton, Ohio yesterday. Forecasters keeping a very close eye on the subtropical storm named Nicole, expected to become a hurricane over the Bahamas before slamming Florida's east coast tomorrow night, presenting
all the classic hurricane hazards.
But because this storm has a larger size, the impact will cover a large area. People should not focus on the exact forecast track.
Jack Bevan, a senior hurricane specialist at the National Hurricane Center. Tropical storm warnings and watches are up for parts of Florida, along with a hurricane watch for a stretch of the Atlantic coast. And watching Wall Street this morning, so far, stocks well into positive territory. The Dow's up 361 points, gain of more than 1%. The NASDAQ, 78 points higher. More on these stories, townhall.com.
Charlie Dombeck here from Key City Capital. As a practicing CPA for nearly 30 years, I have found that 80% of your ability to grow your wealth is dependent upon two factors: taxes and investment performance. At Key City Capital, we improve investment performance by diversifying capital into off-market investment opportunities in passive rental real estate and alternatives like asset-backed lending. We recover dollars that clients unnecessarily pay in the form of income taxes, creating a lifetime annuity of savings. We are a sponsor of passive, affordable single and multifamily residential rental investments, which are located in Sunbelt landlord-friendly states. These investments are the top choices in a rising interest rate and inflationary environment. They represent a store of value, protecting your capital from market volatility. Learn how we at Key City Capital can help you ultimately grow your wealth rapidly. Connect with me at keycitycapital.com or give me a call at 817-912-1569.
Investigators in Seoul, South Korea have raided 55 offices, including those of the National Police Chief. They continue investigating last month's deadly festival tragedy.
The police have already admitted that their response was inadequate, and the police chief has apologized. But interestingly, there have been no notable resignations. People here are waiting for the results of this investigation. The president of South Korea has come out this week and says that he will demand that anybody who is found to be responsible for these deaths and for this disaster that happened here will be held accountable. I think what is going to be interesting to watch is whether the public anger outruns this process, because anger is growing. We've seen it here today.
That's BBC's Gene McKenzie. The man who killed 51 Muslim worshippers during the deadliest mass shooting in New Zealand's history, now appealing his conviction and sentence. News and analysis, townhall.com. A Russian admits he's interfered in U.S. elections.
And Kremlin-connected businessman Yevgeny Prigozhin said he would continue to do so. Prigozhin, known as Putin's chef because of his catering company, confirmed for the first time the accusations that he's rejected for years. Prigozhin said in a post, "We have interfered, are interfering, and will continue to interfere." Prigozhin and other Russians were charged in 2018 with operating a covert social media campaign aimed at dividing American public opinion ahead of the 2016 U.S. presidential election. John Scott reporting.
Communist China displaying its latest generation fighter jets as well as civilian aircraft this week as Beijing looks to carve out a larger role for itself in the global arms trade as well as competing with Boeing and Airbus. Currently, China is the world's fourth largest arms exporter. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. I leave it on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The demolition, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to hour number Crazy Nearlos. Mornings with Mike Winters, right here on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM. Happy Election Day, everybody. Hope your day's going well. Get out there and vote. Don't forget, you have 12, I believe, different voting convenience centers throughout the county. You can vote at any one of them this morning until 7 p.m. this evening. Hey, before I give you those locations and everything, I do want to mention we had Diane Taylor and Sheriff Mike Harrington with the Chaves County Health Council last hour, and we were discussing drugs and the dangers and everything there. But I do want to put this on folks' radar. Chaves County, the DWI educational presentation, Mr. Chad Curry with the UMC EMS specialist. He's going to present high school students the dangers of deadly consequences in vaping and recreational drugs. He's going to be telling checking into different schools here the next couple days. So just to let parents know, he'll be in Hagerman on November 9th, which is tomorrow, right? I think today's the 8th, right? So from 8:20 to 9:30. He'll do, also on November 9th, he's going to do Mesa Middle School at 10:30, and then Mountain View Middle School at 1:15. And then on Thursday, he'll be doing the discussion November 10th, Thursday at Berendo Middle School at 8:30, and then Sierra Middle School at 12:30. So your kids will be getting that. Parents, ask questions and get involved. So you, too, are a participant in helping keep drugs and alcohol and things and vaping and all the dangers out of your children's hands. Okay, so back to the voting. If you have not voted, you can vote. Today's your day to vote. You can vote at any one of these locations between now and 7 p.m. this evening. The Roswell Mall, Central Church of the Nazarene, which is at 901 East Country Club here in Roswell. Country Club Road Church of Christ at 700 West Country Club Road. The Roswell Museum at 100 West 11th. Boys and Girls Club of Roswell at 201 South Garden. New Mexico Game and Fish Office at 1615 West College. East Grand Plains Elementary, 3773 East Grand Plains. The Chaves County Clerk's Office, there at 1 St. Mary's Place. Go to the south end of the building. You'll see signs at the south end of the building. Vote here. Go into those. Don't go to the actual clerk's office. Otherwise, you'll go through a gamut maze to try to get to where you actually vote. And it's just a lot easier to park at the south end, go right to the double doors. It's a vote here, and you walk in, and it's right there. You can also vote at Church on the Move here in Roswell at Brasher Road, 901 West Brasher. And then outside of Roswell at the Dexter Central Office, 100 North Lincoln in Dexter. Hagerman Joy Center at 503 East Argyle in Hagerman. And at Lake Arthur Schools, 700 West Broadway there in Lake Arthur. Any one of those 12 locations you can vote at today if you're a resident and a registered voter in Chaves County. All right, it is 9 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's go ahead and get you up to date on the weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll start off with a few clouds today, but clearing up by midday and especially this afternoon, turning sunny. Our afternoon high in the low to mid 70s, and it will be a little bit breezy. Wind occasionally gusting up to about 25 miles per hour. Some clouds and mid 50s for the overnight hours and windy, and then a mix of sun and clouds coming up on Wednesday. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
Thank you, Steve. Also, real quick before I finish up with the weather on voting, if you have not sent in your absentee ballot yet, but you have one, do not mail it in. Go to the clerk's office with your absentee ballot and vote. Or I'm not sure, you might be able to go to one of the 12 voting centers. I recommend, but I'm not 100% certain on that. I'm just doing this off the top of my head. So call the clerk's office. If you do have an absentee ballot and you've not sent it in the mail, go vote in person today rather than mail it off, because otherwise you will not get your vote counted. The deadline has passed for getting those mailed off. All right, with the weather, currently 64. I'm jumping all over the place. Currently 64 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 75%. Winds currently out of the south at 9 miles per hour. Cloudy early, but the sun will come out later on today. Expect a high of 75. Winds will be out of the south, 15 to 20 miles per hour. Tonight, patchy fog rolling in after 11 p.m., but increasing clouds after that with an overnight low of 54 degrees. Winds will be out of the south, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow's going to be a warm one. You're going to wake up with some patchy fog till about 8 a.m., but mostly sunny for the day. Highs near 80, 79 officially. South winds early, 10 to 15 miles per hour. Tomorrow afternoon, those winds will increase 15 to 20, gusting as high as 30 miles per hour. Tomorrow night, partly cloudy with an overnight low of 45 degrees and south winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Thursday, sunny and cooler, 67 for a high. Winds will be out of the north, 10 to 15 miles per hour, and then it's going to get cooler from there. Mostly clear Thursday night, overnight low of 36. And then for Veterans Day Friday, we're looking at sunny skies and a high of 57. On Saturday, mostly sunny, 57. Veterans Day celebration, 9 a.m. Jacket and playoff football in the afternoon. And then, of course, Sunday, mostly sunny, 63 for a high there. All right, it is 12 minutes after 9 o'clock. Let's take a quick commercial break, about 3.5 minutes, and then Robert Reynolds will join us here on the other side. Don't go away.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to 2 amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
This is Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Together, we can take back our public lands while preserving the integrity of your vote. It's easy to vote for Larry Marker. On your ballot, go to the space provided for declared write-in candidate. It's under the heading Commissioner of Public Lands. Mark the oval and write in Larry Marker. Together, we can take back our public lands and preserve the integrity of your vote. Go to LarryMarker.com for more information. Thank you.
Larry Marker, independent write-in candidate for Commissioner of Public Lands. Paid for by the Friends of Larry Marker.
At Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium, we honor and pay tribute to the achievements of your loved one by celebrating the life you shared together. Anderson Bethany Funeral Home and Crematorium is compassionate and cares about our local community and the families we serve here in southeastern New Mexico. Locally owned and operated, we will be here to help you decide how to celebrate the bond you've shared and pay tribute to the unique individual you've lost. Visit us at 2609 South Main in Roswell or call 622-5888.
The average American takes 8,000 to 10,000 steps each day, and for those suffering from foot problems, each one can be agonizing. The podiatry team at Artesia General Hospital can help diagnose and treat foot and ankle conditions, including diabetic foot issues, arthritis, bunions, or other problems. Doctors Joseph Marino and Joseph Krupa are podiatrists specializing in wound care, fracture care, foot and ankle surgery, and more. Put your feet in good hands. Request an appointment at artesiageneral.com/podiatry APPT.
This is an important message for everyone on Medicare. The Medicare annual election period ends December 7th, so right now is the only time to make changes to your Medicare coverage. Medicare can be very confusing, so now is the time to visit Medcare Senior Insurance Solutions, an insurance agency that offers Medicare health insurance plans. Contact Jeannie Muse at Medcare Senior Insurance Solutions, 110 West Country Club, across from Bush Appliance. Remember, the annual election period ends December 7th.
This is an urgent appeal to vote in this upcoming election. The governor, with the full backing of the progressive liberals, has shut down our businesses, schools, damaged our communities, and your freedoms. Elect people to political office who will combat and resist the liberals' ruinous policies. Liberty is the key to prosperity, and we must elect people who will fight for that cause. Vote for Greg Nybert for State Representative District 59, and for Republicans who will restore our rights in our state and nation.
Paid for by Greg Nibert for State Representative, Richard Taylor, Treasurer.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 60 minutes after 9 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning, wearing a slightly different hat today, Robert Reynolds with us. Normally, Robert joins us once a month and keeps us up to date on things happening around town, but today we're getting the different side of Robert. Good morning, Robert. How are you doing today?
Morning, Mike. Good morning, everybody. I'd like to say good morning to Marie and Cheney Roebuck and Al and Maberza.
They out listening to you this morning?
Yes.
Are they fans of your singing?
Yeah.
All right.
And, my friend Tony, Tom Spama, he works with Jimmy John, and all my poetry people, and anybody else that's listening to 106.5 Monday through Friday from 7 to 10. Mike appreciates it very much.
I do. It pays for my lunch, so thank you. So for folks that aren't familiar, and we talked about this quite a bit actually, Robert likes to sing gospel music at church on Sundays at his church there, and sometimes he gets involved with church groups and takes the show on the road every once in a while. And back before COVID, he used to be able to go into like the living assisted homes and sing there. And I don't know if you're able to get back in and do some of that yet, but hopefully soon, if not now. But Robert has a gospel CD that he's put out a couple years ago, and so he wanted to come on today and just sing some gospel music. And he's written, and the ones you're going to sing today are original ones that you've written yourself and everything else, right?
No, just the one song. The other two.
Okay, you can't take credit for those. Those are from the hymn book. Okay, very good. So now I'm curious because I know you're a poet as well. You part of the High Plains Poetry. I'm going to screw that. High Plains Poetry Society, and so I'm curious. Are these originally poems that turned to songs, or were they songs the whole time, or were they? How did they evolve? Like this one particular you're going to sing for us.
Well, this one I made. You can take poetry and then you can go with your gospel music, and you can intercede with each one.
Yeah.
And you can make a good song out of both of them. That's how I do it.
Okay. So you kind of work them as both. And it's like, if I'm at poetry club, I can recite it as a poem. But at church on Sunday, I can put a little tune to it, and we're going to sing it. We're going to belt it out for everybody. So.
Yes.
So how did you get involved in gospel music? What was it? Did you always love it as a kid growing up, or how did you come to enjoy gospel so much?
When I was 6 or 7 years old, I was born and raised in Ronceville, West Virginia.
Okay.
And my mother sang gospel music when she was cleaning the house and stuff.
Okay, so it was in the home.
I was followed with my voice.
Okay.
And I just went from there and made my bass voice. And she enjoyed her singing at home, but she wouldn't sing in public.
stick to the around the house and in the shower maybe or something. Yeah. Well, they have great acoustics in the shower, so it's a good place to sing. So when did you start singing in the churches and things? When did all that start happening?
It was 7 years ago at Trinity. I was in the choir there for 3 years at Trinity and sang a song. But without I don't use no instrument or nothing like that. I don't know how to play them. And I started at Trinity. And then I go to Hondo, and I go to Artesia and the Grace Community Church in different places. And hopefully next month I get to go back into the nursing home.
Well, hopefully. Well, knock on some wood here. Hopefully they'll let you guys back in and do all that here. So have you been singing for about 7 years, or have you were you singing back when your mom was a kid too? Or you were a kid with your mom and all that. Did you sing with her sometimes?
So when I used to go to the tavern,
they
have the band up there, and they volunteer. Everybody wants to go up and sing.
So you'd go up there?
I'd be about half drunk, probably, up there. And I'd get up there, and I would try some of the country and western songs and stuff. And
well, there's some gospel roots in all of that too. I mean, look at Elvis. I mean, he's the one who kind of married gospel into the rock and roll and all of that kind of thing. I
remember in West Virginia singing Hound Dog Man all the
time. Let's do. What song would you like to do? Would you do your original, or would you like to do one of the hymns first?
I want to sing "How Great Thou Art," then the song I wrote, I'm taking my vacation in heaven.
Okay.
And because he lives.
Okay. Well, let's do the first song. Let's do your hymn, and then we'll talk a little bit about it. So I will shut my mouth and just turn off my microphone and leave the floor to you, Robert. So go ahead. It's all yours.
Okay. Yeah, good morning, everyone. And thank you for listening to 106.5 Talk Radio. I'm going to sing How Great Thou Art. Oh, Lord, my God, when I in awesome wonder consider all the world thy hands has made, I see the stars, I hear the rolling thunder, thy power throughout the universe display. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When through the woods and forest glades I wander, and hear the birds sing sweetly in the trees. When I look down from lofty mountains grandeur, and hear the brook and feel the gentle breeze. And when I think that God his son's not sparing, sent him to die, I scarce can take it in, that on the cross my burdens gladly bearing, he bled and died to take away my sin. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. When Christ shall come with shout of acclamation and take me home, what joy shall fill my heart. Then I shall bow in humble admiration, and then proclaim, my God, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Then sings my soul, my Savior God, to thee. How great thou art, how great thou art. Thank you very much.
Nice. Let me turn my mic back on. There you go. Nice. You sing way in key better than I do. I can't do it.
You can join on in this.
Nice. Yeah, I would be people. I make dogs howl, and when I start singing, so very cool, excellent. I think you should learn an instrument. I think you should learn to play guitar or something, because I think if you your voice with it, I think you could sing. If you could get you some music accompanied, get a little band behind you, I think you could pull something off like that. It'd be pretty good.
I got a guitar at home. Been sitting there for 30 years, and I can't play it.
Yeah.
I just look at it with the dust and dust it off.
Yeah, maybe just, just play a few bars and learn it. I think you should, seriously, I think you should learn that guitar, learn to play a little bit. I think you'd enjoy it. I think you would
I always
like
wanted to play the piano, but I can finger it. That's about all.
Yeah. Well, pianos are expensive to get, too, unless you get like an old Casio keyboard or something. But, yeah. Well, cool. So, well, thank you for that one. And you want to do your original piece now?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, give a little bit background on this original one. How did you come up with it?
I just taken. I wrote this song 4 weeks ago.
Okay.
And I got 100 songs wrote now through the gospel, the ones I did myself.
Okay.
And this is one I wrote, and I hope you like it. It's I'm taking my vacation in heaven.
Ah, so what was the inspiration for this one? What was there something that happened or something that you saw or did that just kind of was the inspiration for the writing of this song?
I was in the country of West Virginia, and I remember my mother. It was a country church setting out in nowhere's land.
Okay.
And it was on Sunday, fortunately.
Mhm.
Went inside, and she heard the pastor and came out and stuff, and she says, this would be a good place to take a vacation. Then we can come to church every Sunday and hear this wonderful pastor.
So that's where
it come in my head.
That was the line that inspired the song, huh?
Yes.
Very cool. Well, I will shut my mouth and my microphone and turn the floor back over to you, Robert. It is all yours. Enjoy. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Name of the song I wrote, I'm taking my vacation in heaven. I'm taking my vacation in heaven. It will be with my Lord Jesus Christ. I will be with all other angels up on them golden streets. My vacation is special with Jesus. I'll be with him forevermore. His smile is very special. You'll see it everywhere. I want my vacation to be special. I'm spending it all with my Lord. Every day it's getting closer. I'll spend my eternity with him. Are you waiting for his coming? Your vacation is very near. Father God will send him down here. You'll be so happy he did. How many angels will be there? Only Father God knows this. What a marvelous day this will be. Well, in heaven with our Lord. My vacation is very special. I'll be with him up there. I'll be forever loving his face and all is there. You'll see it every day with the special angel's face. You'll see it all over that beautiful heavenly place. Thank you.
Keep forgetting to turn my mic back on. Nice, good job. It's just used to being on all the time. But very cool. So where did the tune part come? Is that something you picked too? I mean, how does like when you write a poem, but as far as the music and the cadence and how does that, how do you come up with that, or do you use a certain standard tune each time, or?
I use a stick.
Okay.
And when I'm making the words,
gotcha.
See if you can get it.
So it's just about the flow of the words, and you kind of, all right, that's how I'm going to make the music.
So like in poetry, they try to get most of it to rhyme, and in the music you don't have to.
Yeah.
But you can bring the first and last line, the middle line, bring it down to the last with the top, and then you go to the next verse.
Gotcha. Okay.
Like that.
See, I can't write music. I don't have those kind of skill sets. So very cool. So that 99 more of them you've written.
Yeah.
Nice. Do you have them all written down somewhere, or are they in your head, or where are they?
I got about 10 here.
Okay.
All wrote. And
so do you just have like files back home full of songs and everything, or like a file cabinet just full of these or something?
Yeah, I got some of my songs. A few of them not gospel. I wrote about my state of West Virginia. Then I lived in Illinois.
Okay.
And I was in Okinawa, Japan, in California, in the Philippines. That was the station.
So all more different life
so
experiences.
I just came and write those. It's really country and western and a part of rock and roll.
Very cool. Well, good deal. So little Elvis influence.
Yeah.
Very good. Well, you have one more hymn for us, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, let's. He's moistening the instrument right now.
Yeah.
So what's the name of this hymn you're singing?
Because He Lived.
All right. So here is Robert's version, and again, I'm shutting up. The floor is yours, Robert.
Good morning again. Welcome to 106.5 FM Talk Radio.
Got a DJ talk up his cue up his own song.
Now, I'm saying because He lived, God sent his Son. They called him Jesus. He came to love, heal, and forgive. He lived and died to buy my pardon. An empty grave is there to prove my Savior lives. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. And now I know, oh, there is a future. 'Cause life is worth the living now. Because he lives. How sweet to hold a newborn baby and feel the pride and joy he gives. But greater still the calm assurance this shall confess uncertain days. Because he lives, because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. And now I know, oh, he is a future. 'Cause life is worth the living there. Because he lives. And then one day I'll cross that river. I'll fight life's fine. No war with pain. And then as death gives way to victory, I'll see the light of glory then. I know he reigns. Because he lives, I can face tomorrow. Because he lives, all fear is gone. And now I know, oh, there is a future. 'Cause life is worth the living now. Because he lives. Thank you very much.
Nice. Congratulations. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Awesome. Good job. See, you can sing better than I can. I can't sing at all. So, and I don't have the gumption. I'll embarrass myself, put myself, but singing, I don't feel comfortable doing it. So it's great that you're able to sing and enjoy that. Imagine it's kind of cathartic for you, huh? Where you when you're having a bad day, you sit down and write some songs or something, it makes you feel a little better.
Huh? I can be at McDonald's or Burger King, write the whole song in one day, or take 2 days, and then I go back and change the words and stuff like that.
So how many of your song papers have like ketchup stains or from McDonald's on the?
I probably got 20 in Burger King, about 10 in McDonald's, and one in Whataburger.
That must have been McRib season. They got barbecue sauce on this one. So.
If you give me one of them Whoppers, one of my songs.
There you go. Hey, this one had cheese on it, but now can people still buy the CD? Do you still have CDs if they want to get? Tell them a little bit about the CD you have.
Yeah, I got the CDs. There's 14 songs for $20.
Okay,
and I wrote them myself. And you can call me at 575-208-9513.
And on the album, he's accompanied by piano. You have a friend that's playing piano behind your original songs there. So it's not just a cappella; it's also with a little music to it as well too. So and then tell people where you're singing at on church this Sunday.
Yeah, I'm going to sing "Precious Memories" and "Love Lifted Me."
Okay, and that's at Trinity or what church?
Just my voice in church.
No, which church are you going to be singing in?
Oh, it's Trinity. Trinity United Methodist Church.
Very good. And give out service times and everything for folks if they want to come and not only see your singing, but come and worship God.
And if I put anybody to sleep, I'm sorry. But we love everyone. They've been keep listening to 106.5 FM. And Mike appreciates everything.
Absolutely, I do. And he was joking earlier. If you need like buy the CD to help you sleep at night. If you need. Just kidding. Just kidding. Just kidding. But Robert, thank you for coming in and doing this. This was fun. I enjoyed listening to your music, and it's a nice change of pace just talking about things around town and getting a chance to sing. And you got a voice. I didn't realize it. So good deal.
Yeah, thank you so much, and I appreciate everything you do and everything at the station.
Does she tell you to shut up around the house if you get to singing sometimes, your wife there?
She goes to sleep.
Oh, it puts her to sleep. I didn't know if she's like, will you stop that convoluted singing?
She's used to hear my voice. She said, that's enough.
That's right. I'm married. I know that same feeling. My wife tells me the same thing. So thank you, guys. And have a great, happy Veterans Day to you and your family here.
Oh, yeah. I meant to, just for a moment.
Yes.
Goddard High School is going to be Thursday at
tomorrow.
1 o'clock. veterans program.
Yes.
And then Friday, there's 4 veterans programs in a row.
Yeah.
It's going to be end of my breakfast at 8 o'clock. At 10 o'clock, we'll be at the cemetery. 1 o'clock, will be Roswell High. And 5 o'clock is the Veterans Meal at the First Methodist Church, and everything's free for the veterans. And Miss Teen New Mexico is going to be there.
Oh, cool. And then don't forget, tomorrow at noon, the county's going to do a Veterans Proclamation on the courthouse lawn, and they're going to be giving away green light bulbs to light up for veterans while supplies last. And then, of course, the big Veterans Parade and Ceremony on Saturday, 9 a.m., Chaves County Courthouse lawn.
And so far, the last one, Vanessa, I guess some more. The First Methodist Church on the 13th at 10:30. Instead of having a regular service, we'll have a veterans recognition.
Oh, cool. Very nice. That'll be a good one. So, excellent. Well, thank you, Robert, as always, and appreciate the visit. Appreciate the music. And we'll see you next month, okay?
Yeah. Thank you very much, and take care, everybody.
Thank you. Appreciate it. It is 9:38. Let's go ahead and pause for news and Hannity. Quick break. Don't go away.
With your Pecos Valley News Update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Monday's Powerball jackpot is on hold. Yes, that's right. There was no Powerball drawing held Monday night. When it came time to do the live drawing, a host said there was a delay due to one of the 48 state participants who did not submit their safety and security protocols in time. Therefore, the Powerball drawing was not expected to be held until later Tuesday. A reminder that Roswell, Carlsbad, and Artesia city administration offices and certain other city facilities will be closed on Friday in observance of Veterans Day. Some city services will have an adjusted schedule for that Friday or the week. In addition to Roswell city offices, the Roswell Public Library, Roswell Museum, and Roswell Adult Center will be closed on Friday, Veterans Day. The Roswell Recreation and Aquatic Center, Spring River Zoo, and Roswell Visitor Center will be open on Veterans Day. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Waking up on the right side. This is the Sean Hannity Morning Minute.
All right, it's Election Day, and that means you have the ability to stop this insanity. Stop the insanity of record high inflation, record high gas prices, wide open borders, defund, dismantle, no bail laws, and yes, you can end CRT and gender identification education and go back to reading, writing, math, science, and actual computer learning for your kids. There's more at stake than I've ever seen in my lifetime. A tipping point of all tipping points, an inflection point for the country if ever there was one. Now, these Senate races, these gubernatorial races will be decided by very small numbers. It's Election Day. Do your duty. Get out and vote for the candidates that matter. More coverage later today on The Sean Hannity Show.
From coast to coast, from sea to shining sea, it's the Sean Hannity Show.
As a salute to our heroes this Veterans Day, our friends at Blinds.com is passing along huge savings to everyone, up to 50% off site-wide. Blinds.com has everything you need to upgrade your entire home. Plus, with professional design and installation services, they have their 100% satisfaction guarantee. Blinds.com, they make it simple and easy. Just go to Blinds.com now through November the 11th. Save up to 50% off everything. Up to 50% off at Blinds.com. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. We'll start off with a few clouds today, but clearing up by midday and especially this afternoon, turning sunny. Our afternoon high in the low to mid 70s, and it will be a little bit breezy. Wind occasionally gusting up to about 25 miles per hour. Some clouds and mid 50s for the overnight hours and windy, and then a mix of sun and clouds coming up on Wednesday. Looks like we'll stay in the mid 70s. That's your latest forecast. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton.
With the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason. Big drugstore chain expanding into more comprehensive health care.
Walgreens has acquired another urgent and primary care chain, Summit Health City MD, in a deal worth close to $9 billion. Walgreens and rival CVS, two retail chains with thousands of locations, have evolved in recent years with a greater focus on overall care for customers. The aim is to try to help customers avoid chronic health conditions and expensive hospital stays.
And that's correspondent Jeremy House beating Wall Street expectations. Builders First Source third quarter earnings $738 million, earnings of $5.20 per share, surpassing the average estimate of $3.53. Wall Street higher at mid-morning, extending the stock market's recent winning streak to a third day. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Rich Thomason.
Jennifer here from Trustmark Roofing, and I know you've heard me say that you can trust Trustmark, but I want you to know what that looks like in real life. A few years ago, we installed a beautiful new roof for an older woman who was recently widowed. She was an artist, and colors were really important to her. So when she said she didn't like the color of a brand new roof, we took that seriously. She had picked the color and signed off on it, but I just kept thinking, if she's going to walk into her house every day and be disappointed, then we're just going to redo it. So we did. We ripped that beautiful new roof off and replaced it with a slightly different color, and she was thrilled. Yes, it cost us quite a bit of money to make her happy, but I want you to know you can trust Trustmark to make it exactly right every time. If you have any roofing needs, call us at 575-755-ROOF or find us online at trustmarkroofpros.com.
Trustmark Roofing, we put people first.
Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency. Auto and home, life and health, personal and commercial. Bonds too, since 1925. We have the coverage for you. Innovation, service, integrity, and knowledge. J.S. Ward & Son Insurance Agency.
Hi, I'm Dr. Keon at Carabelli Dental. Same-day smiles are what we do. My passion is helping patients chew, talk, and live with confidence. That's why I'm one of the few doctors in the U.S. who can create beautiful same-day smiles with the latest digital implant technology. This procedure is life-changing. Just ask Sean.
Hi, I'm Sean. I've been that voice that you've heard on the radio for most of my life, but I'm also a dad to two amazing kids. I've had a million reasons to smile, but in all my old pictures, I was never smiling. Truth is that life of improper care and being dealt a bad hand genetically left me practically with no teeth. It affected everything from the way I ate, the way I talked, and of course how I interacted with people. And that's where Dr. Keon and Carabelli stepped in. They eased my fears. They explained every step of the process in a way that I could understand, and they made me feel almost like I was part of the team. And now, I can't stop smiling. I have so much more confidence, and I love looking in the mirror now. I can't explain how much of a difference Dr. Keon's dental implant process made for me.
Our team can help you find your smile too. Come see us at Carabelli Dental, 575-622-4455.
Hi, I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon. When I put on that black robe, my thought process zooms in and focuses on the law. Nothing but the law. Just because I like you or don't, or because you're a Republican or Democrat, in this courtroom, it doesn't matter. The evidence presented and the law that the legislature passed are the only things that matter. This is hallowed ground, and I don't play favorites. I rule by the letter of the law. I'm 5th District Judge Eileen Reardon, and I'm asking for your vote November 8th.
Paid for by the committee-elect Judge Reardon, Steve McCutcheon, Treasurer.
I'm Judge Reardon, and I approve this message.
The average American spends 2.5 days a year looking for lost items. We aren't sure how long Europeans and Asians look for lost stuff. We lost the list. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:45. Don't forget, busy week, not just with elections today and Veterans Day and all of that coming up, but high school playoffs as well in in multiple sports, actually. Of course, high school football playoffs are for our local schools, Roswell, Goddard, and Artesia. They start their playoff run this weekend. Of course, Gateway Christian playing for a championship game on Saturday. But the Roswell Coyotes and the Goddard Rockets, they start their playoff run. The Goddard Rockets will be Friday night at 6 p.m. at the Wool Bowl as they take on the 5th seed, Deming, the Deming Wildcats, who defeated Berlin 42-0 last week. For Roswell, their game will be Saturday at 1 p.m. They are the number 2 seed. They're taking on the 10 seed Gadsden. The Gadsden Panthers, they beat the number 7 seed Los Alamos 44-21 last week. So that sets up for this quarterfinal action, which, by the way, we do have video permissions. So we're able to live stream video of both of those playoff games, actually all 3, because we also cover the Artesia Bulldogs, who are the 1 seed. They're going to take on the 8 seed Valley. That's going to take place 1 p.m. on Saturday. Valley, they are the 8 seed. They beat the 9th seed Miyamura 30-6 last weekend. So that sets up there. Now, if Goddard wins on Friday and Artesia wins on Saturday, then they will square off in a semifinal matchup next weekend. I believe Roswell owes Goddard. Goddard owes Artesia. I think. Other way around. I think Artesia owes Goddard. So I think that game will be, but don't quote me on that. I saw a list and I don't remember off the top of my head, but once they get to the semifinal and the championship rounds, it goes to who owes who based on playoff history. And so, the last time Artesia and Goddard met in a semifinal, or, I think it was in Artesia last time. Don't quote me on that. So I think it'll be at Goddard this time. So, but they got to win this weekend first before we get there. I'm putting the cart before the horse. They got to get through this weekend first. Now, Roswell, if they win on Saturday, they will face off either Piedra Vista, the 3 seed, or the 6 seed Mayfield. They square off 1 o'clock on Saturday as well. There in Farmington. There at Hutchinson Stadium. So Roswell will play the winner of that one, and I'm not sure. I want to say PV owes Roswell, but don't quote me on that one either. So they could end up going to Farmington for that one. So we'll see. But it all depends. And then if there is no history, then it's the higher seed. So, and I think a couple cases, there is no playoff history. So higher seeds for I'm not entirely sure. But anyway, all of that's going on. And then on top of that, we got volleyball playoffs for you. Beginning Thursday, state playoffs begin for high school volleyball. The Goddard Lady Rockets are the 1 seed. And so they're going to play their first game Thursday at 3. And that's 3-ish because it's the tournament bracket up there in Rio Rancho. And, it tends to get the first games always start on time for the most part. The 8:30 or 9 or whenever they start the first games, they usually start on time. But, and they usually have 4 games going on the court at one time. And then as the playoffs go, they'll narrow it down. But that first couple rounds, it's a lot of volleyball going on. Usually there's 4 games going on there. Whether it's at the Pit or a Santa Ana, or doesn't matter what year. So it's a lot going on, and then it kind of whittles down. So Artesia will play their first matchup Thursday at 3 o'clock, and then we'll have that for you. Kelly McDonald will be in Santa Ana Star Center, or whatever it's called now, to call that game for you. If they win, they play again, I believe, at 9:45 on Friday. So if Goddard wins, and being the 1 seed, they're kind of expected to, then they would play in the first that 9:45 Friday. If they lose, the volleyball playoffs are a little different this year. They've sort of adopted the softball style where it's double elimination. However, once they get to the semifinals, I believe, then the double elimination goes out the window. It's back to single elimination. So if they lose here before the semis, they're not out of the playoffs. So if they do lose on Thursday at 3, then they'll play again, I want to say at 7:45 or 8 on Thursday, and then they'll play a gamut of games on Friday. So hopefully they get the big win Thursday at 3, and then we won't see them in action again until Friday at 9:45, and then I think after that they win that one, then it's to the championships on Saturday, I think. So if not, they lose, then they got to go through a gauntlet to get back up in it. So till they get to the semis. So once they get to the semis, the single elimination. So it doesn't matter if a team hasn't lost yet in the semis. If they lose one, they're out. They don't get a second one. So that's a little different. Normally, softball does that way, where they do double elimination up through the championship game. Volleyball, up until this year, they used to do pool play. So they'd rank the teams, the 1 through 16 or whatever, and then they'd put them into the 3 or 4 different pools, depending on the number. 4 different pools. Sorry, do the math there. 4 different pools with 4 teams in it, and then they'd have a higher seed in each one. Then they'd round robin, and all 3 would play, and then whoever had the best record out of the pool would move on, and then they'd set up the seedings for the bracket, and then it would go double elimination. Sounds a lot of confusing information there, but they've kind of scaled it down a little bit. It's still kind of confusing if you're not paying attention or not into that world. But regardless, we're going to have it all for you. We'll carry all the volleyball playoffs on the radio here. We could have Kelly McDonald, Joby Hotling, could even be Coach Deck, call it, depending on how far they go and what days they go. We're kind of navigating all of that now because we have 3 football games, and of course Artesia, they're a 3 seed in the volleyball state playoffs, so they are up there. We're covering them on our sister station for Artesia. So Joby Hotling's going to be up there for a couple days. Of course, they're all coming back to do playoff football on Saturday, so Deck may have to go up depending if they're still up and they're playing for a championship on Saturday. But we'll get it all to you, and we're going to have it for you on the radio for sure on the volleyball and football and video this weekend on football. I don't know if we're going to get it past this weekend. Probably not. I doubt it. But you never know. To be honest, there was a question there yesterday whether we were going to get permission to video. And by the way, just to let you know, when I asked for permission, see how this works is during the regular season, the NHFS network owns the rights to some of they've secured some rights to some of the broadcasting schools for around the state. They used to be doing Albuquerque. They kind of, from what I hear, not doing Albuquerque now. They're doing Clovis, more of the outlying schools. But anyway, once the playoffs start, the NHFS has the rights, the exclusive rights to video stream all of New Mexico high school football state playoff games. We legally aren't allowed to do it. What we do during this time, if we know they're not going to send camera crews and everything down because they don't have the power, the people to do that, then we say, hey, can we get permission to buy the rights back for these games and then play them? And usually those first couple rounds they let us. So, and they did, but this time we tried to get a hold of them last week. Nothing. And it was finally yesterday, late in the day yesterday, finally said, okay, we'll let you guys purchase the rights. And that's what I'm saying. They're letting us purchase the rights. And then we got to spend several grand just for the rights for all 3 of these games. It's a couple grand after it's all said and done for these rights to do all that. So we've locked that down. You're welcome. I know people get mad and all that, but it's kind of a big deal to get us to play some video of football playoffs. So it is an effort, and we try our best to do everything. We have Tanner and all the staff. They do an amazing job getting it there. But there's a lot more hurdles than people realize when it comes to that kind of stuff. So, but good news is we got it locked down. We're going to be doing video of the football games this weekend for sure. Probably not after this, but for sure. And, of course, after this, they'll all definitely be on the radio. So just wanted to. And
if a winner isn't determined by that point, sack race will be held on consecutive Saturdays until the winner is declared.
Until the winner is declared. Yes, that's exactly how it's going to work.
Yep.
So,
sorry, I had to go help move a TV.
A whole TV?
A whole 75-inch TV. This thing was like a table.
Was it a newer version or old school?
No, it was a Hisense. It was brand new.
It's not that heavy compared to a TV.
It was more. It wasn't heavy. It was just cumbersome.
You haven't lived till you tried to move a 40-inch TV from the 90s or below or earlier. That's our job.
Oh yeah, those TVs that also were like cabinets that also included like record players, or usually it was just hunks of wood on either side for some unknown reason.
Well, I remember, because back like my parents, the first TV I remember my parents owning was I'm going to say it was probably like a 1920 inch, maybe 24 inch TV. It was a black and white, and it was a set model, like it was a piece of furniture. It was, it had a cabinet. It resided in and had stuff.
Real nice wood, I'm sure. Features.
Nice-ish for 70s.
Well,
cheap wood.
Right.
And I remember distinctly watching Chips on that TV at my parents' apartment and everything as a child. I was born. My parents got married. I was 4 years old. My dad adopted me, and so I kind of instant came to the family. But so I remember 4 years old, 5 years old watching Chips on that TV.
Do you remember the first iterations of big screen TVs?
Mm-hmm.
So I remember the first time I ever saw one. It was when
I think it started with projectors first.
It was when I went to the projectors, but when I went to my my Aunt Kathleen's house, she was like freshly divorced, so she was going through that phase of her life. So she bought herself a big screen TV, and this thing was gigantic. But it was one of those projector TVs. But just the square shape of it, like looking back at it now, because I still see those TVs now, like the same exact set and cabinet and all that.
Yeah.
Just how square and weird looking it is. It's like, it's so archaic. And it was literally just like 15, 20 years ago.
Yeah.
It wasn't even that long.
I know.
It's like, wow, it's insane.
My parents, they splurged when I was like late high school, after high school. They bought a TV, and I'll never forget, it was the biggest moment in my then life. It was like a 50-inch TV.
Wow.
And it was a box. It was just like you thought. It was about 1.5 feet, 2 feet deep. And then, of course, whatever the 50-inch on that. And it literally probably weighed 1,000 pounds. It was about 6 feet tall.
Right.
And it was a big hulking mess. But I remember it was state of the art. And everyone was like, ooh, fancy TV. And I remember my parents bought this thing. And it was so out of character for them to buy it. I just was like, what do you mean? We were making toad in a hole and have no money. Where'd this TV money come from? So, but anyway, so for years they had that TV up until they got divorced and all that. But the funny part is, we got a minute. A couple years ago, I did a vacation to Outer Banks, Alaska, and we rented the house and all that. They had a theater room at the very top. It had an elevator, all this crazy stuff. But in the theater room,
same TV,
just like big old, and it worked great. Amazing. We watched movies all on it, but it was probably a 20, 30-year-old TV that was from that era of the 90s. So
just, you got to love when people hold on to that.
Yeah, I mean, it was
just a little longer.
Probably a different brand, but it looked exactly the same. So
that's awesome.
It's kind of memories. All right, go vote.
Yes.
If you already voted, vote again. Just kidding.
No, don't do that. Make your voice heard.
Yeah, absolutely. Have an amazing day. We'll talk all the results and all the fun stuff tomorrow. Well, the good, the bad, the ugly. We'll touch on it.
We'll definitely have results tomorrow.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Take care, everybody. Have a great day. You're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Take care, everybody.